Chief Meteorologist Joel Barnes here just with a quick update. We had a storm come through Jackson. No tornado warnings right now in West Tennessee, but they've issued their first 2 severe thunderstorm warnings of the afternoon so far. Things have quieted down right now in Jackson, but we've got more rounds on the way. We're still 80 degrees. The dew point still 72. A lot of available moisture. We're under a level 3 here. Can't rule out a couple of tornadoes, hail, winds, and maybe some potential flooding. All will be threats. Tornado watch is out until 8 p.m. this evening. Storms will probably begin to move on out, though, I think during the 6-7 o'clock hour across the Mississippi River. Everyone is still pretty warm and humid right now. So we've got 2 clusters of thunderstorms. The first one that just passed east of Jackson. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning on that one, and another one now west of Covington. These ones off to the west right now appear to be a little bit stronger than the storms that are currently in West Tennessee. We've got 1 thunderstorm over near Brownsville, but here's our severe thunderstorm warning. This is out till 3:15 tonight. Does include, or this afternoon, does include Benton, Carroll, Decatur, and Henderson counties. Here's a look at the timing of that. If it continues to track up to the northeast, looks like it'll be into Holiday, Camden, maybe around 3:10. It's moving about 40 miles an hour. Does have the potential for some nickel-sized hail, as well as winds could gust up to 60 miles an hour with that storm. Our other severe storm is this one, west of 55 tonight. That one has not crossed the Mississippi yet, but as it tracks off to the east, looks like it'll be near Ashport 305. And if it continues in that general direction, it'll move into Ripley Halls, potentially Gibson County when we get closer to around 4 o'clock. We've also got a couple of big thunderstorms, one that is severe warned southwest of Memphis, and then up north here we did have a severe thunderstorm warning for this cell. Looks like that has been allowed to expire. So down to the southwest, here's where we're going to be watching for the next couple of hours. These are the storms that are still going to be moving on in tonight. We do have the one we're watching east of Jackson, but that'll be moving out. We've got another one again developing in south central Haywood County, but these are the storms here that have the potential still to produce some maybe some strong winds or a tornado or 2 tonight. It doesn't mean one of these ones out in front of the main line won't try to rotate, but as of now, we've seen very minimal low-level rotation, which is good. That doesn't mean we won't get a tornado spinning up still, but right now it looks like wind and hail has become the main threat, at least over the next hour. There is a couple of tornado warnings to the east of us, one north of Huntsville, another one near Knoxville right now. So here's a look at the timing of the Futurecast. Is showing storms still firing up around 4 o'clock, maybe near Gibson County, over near Lexington. 5 o'clock, there even could be still some redevelopment back to the west, and then maybe a final push coming through 6-7 o'clock. But this Futurecast has everything moving out a little bit past 7 o'clock. Now that's one look at it. Here's another look at it. Different Futurecast. It's got the storms coming in around 3, and it's got some pretty intense storms coming in around 4, again through Jackson, Brownsville, up into Gibson County, maybe a wind and hail maker there. And then by 4:30, 5 o'clock, moving over into Lexington, Camden. And this model's got everything moving on out, though, by 6 o'clock before it clears on out. We're going to go back and give you one more look here at the radar before we go. We'll track these storms one more time since we gave you the latest on the Futurecast. But here is a look at that radar. Currently, you'll notice that the storms are tracking to the northeast, typically around 40 miles an hour. So again, we've got the 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. They've been tracking on up from the south. We had that storm come through Jackson. This one, again, looks like it's got plenty of lightning with it, and it looks like possibility of a hail core developing. So we'll get a closer look at that between Lexington and Wildersville. Looks like it's just in the Timberlake area, and there could be some hail beginning to develop on this one. So if it continues to track up to the northeast, looks like New Safford, Yellow Springs are in the path of this, just south of I-40. Again, we've got this other storm we're watching. It looks like near Brownsville, Woodland. This one is tracking also to the northeast, racing along 40. Will be coming back into Jackson around 3 o'clock. But again, it's this line off here to the west that we're watching. We've got 3 severe thunderstorm warnings just to the southwest of us. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to be watching these as they come on in here tonight. We're going to head back to regular programming on TV, but if you want to join us on our YouTube channel or Facebook Live or either one of our apps, you can catch our live footage there. Meteorologist Jordan Hubbard and myself will continue to track this for a little bit here online. We'll break back in around TV at 3 o'clock unless we get a tornado warning before that.
Can't hear if anybody talks.
Okay,
to me, but we'll pull up the radar on Max 2 and give you guys a quick
hold on.
tour.
Check. I'm going to set all this. I have it set to autoplay through so you guys have something to look at while the live is playing. I'm going to set that to manually, to where I advance it manually. We're going to take a look at just the overarching of the whole system real quick. Several supercells beginning to form into a line segment or multiple line segments in eastern Arkansas. A couple of them severe thunderstorm warned at this time. We also have prefrontal storm that's been several cells merging together. It's got a severe thunderstorm warning on it for Benton, Carroll, Decatur, and Henderson County. This is now east of Lexington, so Lexington, you're done for now, but you're going to have to wait for the line to come through for you to be all clear. Here's a track on that. It's going to be in Holiday at 254, Coxburg at 302, before it moves into Johnsonville and Humphreys County across the river after 3 o'clock. Here's a look at the severe thunderstorm warning for Lauderdale and Tipton counties. It is for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. We'll be rolling into Ripley around 324, Gates 336, Murray City at 350. We'll take another look at this one for Crittenden, Cross Poinsett, and St. Francis, Arkansas. I went ahead and put a track on this one because this particular cell has been tagged with tornado possible on it. So I do have the rotation circled there. It's just to the south of Wynne, Arkansas, just south of Highway 64. And its track puts it in Covington at 354, Cotton Lake at 405, Shep at 419, and Brownsville at 424. We do have a tornado watch out until 8 o'clock tonight. We're going to roll that just real quickly. Again, a tornado watch means conditions are favorable. The good news is, as the line sort of meshes into a line together, we're looking at the tornado threat dropping just a little bit, giving way to a higher wind threat. Also, the hail threat's going to go down as the line moves on through. I know some of these cells, if they move into Dyer, Lauderdale, maybe western Gibson County, could produce some pretty big hailstones. But again, right now, the biggest concern is going to be large hail as it initially moves across the Mississippi River. Then it's going to become a more wind-driven threat with a secondary threat at tornadoes. But right now, no tornado warnings in effect, just one severe thunderstorm warning. We actually have an update on our Lauderdale and Tipton County storm. It looks like that's just a trimming on the polygon, but we'll give you a quick update on it while we're here. It's going to go out until 3:15. And yes, all they did was trim out one of the Arkansas counties out of that. So we're looking good so far, but we've got our eyes on it here at the Storm Team 7 Weather Center. Again, maybe some small hail coming through portions of eastern Henderson County, moving northeast towards northern Decatur, southern Benton County, might clip southeastern Carroll County. But Holiday, you are definitely in the middle of this polygon and need to keep an eye on this storm. Not a tornado threat, but definitely a hail threat. If you've got a carport or a garage, definitely want to move your car while you've got about 10, 15, 20 minutes to get that done. But that's all the news I have coming out of the Weather Service chat right now. I don't have any more updates, Joel.
All right, let's go ahead and switch back to Max 1 here. Just looking at a little bit of rotation that is showing up now with the severe thunderstorm warning west of Ashport. That's the one in Lauderdale County. So we'll keep a close eye on that. We'll kind of rack things up here. I'll give you a quick look at the timing on that one. If it continues to track to the northeast, could be near Alamo at about the top of the hour, Ripley around 3:23. So wrap things back up here at the top. Here's a look at the radar, a line of storms approaching the Mississippi. There's 2 storms right now currently in West Tennessee, one southwest of Jackson, and then that other one that is severe warned. But this one here near Brownsville, approaching Woodland and Denmark. Looks like there is a little bit of broad rotation here, definitely not enough to issue a tornado warning, but we'll watch that for any potential rotation. This one does have a severe thunderstorm warning out. The severe thunderstorm warning is out till 3:15 now. For that one, we'll go ahead and pull that back up. That storm is in the Wildersville area. Looks like it's got some hail inside of it, right in the middle. There could be some hail between Alberton and Wildersville. Looks like, or some very heavy rain maybe. I'm going to zoom things out here. Here's a look at the timing on that one as it tracks off to the northeast. That's when it'll be coming into Camden around 3:10, Holiday around 2:52, And then we've got our thunderstorms, one near Tiptonville, and this one now looks like just west of 55, and with a little bit of rotation. It's broad right now, but this one could produce a possible tornado warning. So we'll keep a close eye on that. There's a look at the timing on that one. Again, Ripley 323, Nutbush 333, Halls 337, Folks, Maury City, Alamo. There's a look at your timing. This is a pretty big storm too down to the south. Let's see if there's any rotation in this one. Looks pretty broad at the current moment. So, but we'll keep an eye on that. It's still a ways away though from West Tennessee. And then we've had this one up here to the north. So we've got a brand new severe thunderstorm warning coming in for Parsons. That's that other cell we were watching off to the east. So we'll get back and show you that one here in just a second. And then we'll give you an update back here at the weather wall. So let's give the brand new severe thunderstorm warning. There it is. We'll highlight that for you. That's this one. All right, so new severe thunderstorm warning for Benton, Decatur, Henderson. That's out for about 50 minutes actually. So that one's all the way out until 3:30. Jordan, that's for winds and hail. I assume it looks like it's moving east
there's
at
no
50.
tornado. Yeah, there's no tornado possible tag on that one.
60-mile-an-hour wind gust, quarter-size hail with that one. That's the one we've been watching. So we'll go ahead. We'll give you one more quick update here, and then we'll be back at the top of the hour with another hit on TV. Jordan's going to try to find something to wrap up the end of the show. One of the cameras outside showing something pretty cool. So about 2 minutes, we'll get to Jordan. All right, downtown Jackson, still 78 degrees. We had that thunderstorm come through. We're still under a level 3 tonight. Tornadoes, hail, winds, all still a risk through at least 6, 7 o'clock tonight. The tornado watch is out till 8 p.m. Does include all of West Tennessee. Here is a look at the temperatures. It is still warm. It is still humid. And the radar very active right now. So we've got a couple different clusters of thunderstorms moving on through, and a bunch of them beginning to cross the Mississippi River right now. So here's the initial cells. We've got the one south here, Brownsville. Doesn't look like this is doing a whole lot. It's got about 13 lightning strikes. It's kind of following the path of that first one. Rotation is very broad, showing up. Don't think this one's going to produce a tornado, at least in the next 15 minutes. Off to the east, we've got this storm, which has got the new severe thunderstorm warning on it. It's got a thunderstorm warning on the northern section and then down south. But you notice the hail beginning, the hail core tracking down now south of New Safford. So it looks like maybe Parsons, if you're in the Parsons area, you probably got some hail coming your way. May want to get your car in the garage if you can. Looks like still some heavy rain in the Wildersville area. I think I got a loop on this. So there's a general direction on the northern section. But again, they've warned it now down south, which does include still Scotts Hill and Parsons under that warning. All right, our western storms. They're all approaching the Mississippi River right now. This one has a severe thunderstorm warning on it till 3:15 as it approaches 55. This one does have a little bit of rotation, looks like north of Marie. So this possible tornado warning storm, so we're going to watch it. Doesn't look like there's a tornado with it right now, but it'll be close to Osceola. Maybe worth keeping an eye on here as it moves into West Tennessee. There's a look at if it continues the same direction, Ripley, Nutbush, Halls, Folks, Maury City, Alamo. There's a look at the timing when this could be coming your way. And then down south here, this is our pretty strong storm. It's intense. Look, 200 lightning strikes with it. But so far the rotation's pretty minimal, maybe a little bit showing up here now south of Fair Oaks. So that one's definitely going to need to be watched. And our last thunderstorm of note is this one into Lake County, Tiptonville. It's got about 80 lightning strikes with that one. But these are the ones we're going to need to watch here pretty closely over the next couple of hours as they move on in. Again, we've got two. They just overlap each other. And we've got two off to the west as well, one up here to the north. So we're going to watch these. We'll have another update coming up here in about 15 minutes at the top of the hour. We're going to check in with Jordan one more time. Max 2. Jordan, do you find anything worth looking at?
Nothing new, but we do have a view into that storm in Henderson moving into Benton County. This is looking south on our Huntingdon camera. It's not the best view, but it's the closest we have. We don't have a Benton County camera or a Decatur County camera that looks upwards. It's not raining in Huntingdon right now, which is probably the best way to view this. You can see the clearing. Not necessarily any lowerings that we see here, which is a good sign. Again, that storm in that area, not really tagged for tornado potential, but we'll pull up Storm Tracker 7 Max radar one more time. Again, it's the line is coming together nicely. Some of these supercells out ahead of the line. If they get eaten, that's even better news for our threat of tornadoes. But right now we're starting to see maybe the beginnings of the line crossing into West Tennessee with Lake County. Our Decatur County camera, actually on Max 1, is pointed in a different direction than I knew it could point. We do have a little bit of a low cloud base on our Parsons camera right now.
Yeah, so we're going to watch this on our Parsons camera. We're going to keep an eye on the radar. Jordan and I will be back in 15 minutes. Obviously, if we get a tornado warning, you'll see us sooner than that. But just keep our live feed up. We always, about every 30 minutes, we'll go on and we'll talk for about 15 minutes on our live feed. We also got some other things we got to do. We got to get prepared for the 5 o'clock news. And run some teases and stuff for television that run on in. Obviously, tornado warnings will preempt all that, but we'll be back here in about 15 minutes. Chief Meteorologist Joel Barnes here at the top of the hour at 3 o'clock. We got a pretty intense storm coming into Parsons right now. That could be some small hail that we actually see coming down, or some very large raindrops. In Jackson, we're watching some storms off in the distance. We've got one just to the southwest of town, and we've got more expected on the way here this afternoon. It is still warm, it is still humid, and the atmosphere is still pretty charged up. All of us are under a level 3 tonight. Still can't rule out a couple of tornadoes, hail, and gusty winds. The tornado watch remains in effect till 8 p.m. These storms are still expected to linger around till at least 6, sometime between 6 and 8. They should be moving on out. It is still pretty warm, everyone around 80 degrees. Here's a look at the radar. We've got multiple clusters of thunderstorms, a couple that are out in front of the main line, but the main line is producing some very strong thunderstorms. Got one tornado warning radar indicated right now, another rotating storm to the west of Covington. But let's start with the one that's about to move into Jackson. Just about a handful of lightning strikes here. Looks like some pretty heavy rain, maybe some small hail east of Woodland. This is not a severe thunderstorm warning, but we are starting to see a little bit of rotation. So we're going to watch this area between Woodland and Denmark. That just showed up in the last couple of scans. So it's a little storm right now, but it's kind of out on its own and trying to rotate. So we're going to check back with that one here in a minute. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning south of Holiday that is now moving across the Tennessee River. That's that heavy rain we showed you there in the Parsons area. That's out till 3:30, and the northern warning is still out till 3:15, but it looks like everything has moved out of that northern warning. But definitely looks like some small hail here just to the east of 641. Looks like northeast of Bible Hill, and maybe a little bit of heavy rain. Not really seeing much for rotation inside that storm. Now off to the west, we've got some couple of big storms tonight. One tornado warned storm, which is warned up until the Mississippi River. That's why we're not live on that one yet. And we do have a cluster of severe thunderstorm warnings. This one for Lauderdale and Tipton County. This one also is showing a little bit of rotation, but it's very broad. But here's our area of concern. We'll watch this. Potential tornado could try to develop here as it gets closer to the river in about 10 minutes. So here's the track of that one. If it continues to go up to the northeast, eventually it'll be moving into Gibson County, Crockett County. Looks like Folks, Dyersburg, Allens, New Bern, maybe about 34 minutes out, or about an hour out, if it continues to hold together, which I think these storms are going to continue. They just may form more into a line here, which is good news for us to avoid tornadoes. But there's still a chance for some rotating storms, especially in these southern ones tonight. I think are the ones I'm more concerned about for producing a tornado. A lot of lightning here. Here's the rotation with this one. Again, it's pretty broad. Definitely no tornado on the ground, but the National Weather Service saw enough rotation that they decided to issue a tornado warning on that one to try to get ahead of it, as it's definitely producing some strong winds and a little bit of rotation trying to get going there west of the Mississippi, but definitely not seeing a tornado on the ground on that cell. Here's the timing of that one as it tracks up here to the northeast. Looks like eventually heading into the Arlington area, Bartlett, but it's a ways away before it moves into our actual viewing area. I'm sure they're covering that with the Memphis TV stations right now, because that's storms in their area. For us, we've got another cluster of thunderstorms here just to the north of Cloverdale, in and around Tiptonville, Sandburg, right along the highway there. It looks like it's pretty heavy rain. A little bit of broad rotation in this one as well. Another area we're watching for a potential spin up between Sandburg and Hornbeak. So we do got a couple different areas that are rotating. Nothing in West Tennessee that's tight enough spinning up that we have a tornado warning, but one could be issued here at any time. So we're going to be watching things again very closely. But here's our main line tonight. This is a confirmed tornado now that just popped up over into the Columbia area. That's a little tiny little cell, but look how fast. It's a little one, but it did just produce a tornado as it moved east of the Tennessee River. So we've got plenty of chances tonight still as this line comes on in for some tornadic activity. So here's the latest Futurecast, keeping some strong thunderstorms around into Gibson, Madison County at 4 o'clock, some lingering even 5, and then 6 o'clock, still seeing some storms, but again by 7, 8, we're expecting the storms to kind of clear on out. Here's one more Futurecast's opinion. It's also thinking that 4 or 5 o'clock through Jackson, and then 5, 6 o'clock moving through Lexington, Selmer, Savannah, 6, 7 out of the picture. Do want to get back one more time on that one we were watching near Jackson that had a little bit of rotation. We'll see if we got a new scan on that one. So they just put a severe thunderstorm warning out for that storm that we were watching. So it should pop up here any minute. So there's our new severe thunderstorm. Does include us here in Jackson. So we're going to stick on TV here for a couple minutes and talk about this, because everyone's phones are going off in Madison County saying that there's a severe thunderstorm warning. Plus, there's that little area of rotation. Again, it's only got about 5 or 6 lightning strikes, but there is some signs of rotation with this storm. So we're going to stick with this here for a minute on TV. It looks like there's some possible rotation between Woodland and Denmark. Meteorologist Jordan Hubbard's with me as well. Jordan, did they put a tornado possible on this storm, or did they just issue it as a severe thunderstorm warning?
They do have the tornado possible tag on it for that rotation just to the northwest of Denmark. Right now, that rotation is located right over Highway 138.
All right, let's head to Max 2 real quick where Jordan's on. Go ahead, Jordan.
All right, so that rotation is just to the northwest of Denmark. It was on Highway 138 on the last scan. We'll actually wipe that warning off for a second and zoom out. What I want to do is I want to put a track on this just in case. Actually, we just got an update from the Weather Service on that. They said it looked better earlier, but it's moving into a good environment. So we're going to keep a very close eye on this storm. I'm going to swap back over to reflectivity. I'm going to really quickly. We also have a new severe thunderstorm warning coming in for Weekly Lake and Obion County. That's going to be for quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. I'm going to get the speed data for this storm northeast at 40, and then we'll put our track on it. This is a cell all on its own. Good news is it's moving into an area storms have already passed through, so it may not have all the energy it needs, but northeast at 40 will go out for an hour. That puts it here in Jackson within a minute. Claybrook at 324, Blue Goose 329, Mount Gilead at 334, Wildersville 350, Westport 355, Dollar at 4 o'clock on the nose. Again, we'll zoom back in on it and take a look at the rotation. It does have a classic hook echo, but that stuff on the north side of the storm may actually be interfering with it just a touch, just enough to keep us from getting a tornado warning. And I haven't seen the word side lobe contamination thrown around with this one yet. So we're going to keep, again, a close eye on it. It does have weak mid-level rotation, so maybe what we're seeing at the surface, what we could see aloft are going to be 2 different rotations. That's probably too far away for our downtown Jackson camera to see, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, you can go ahead and adjust that, Jordan, adjust our camera, see if you can find it. Let's head back to 1 here. We've got, again, a very large line of thunderstorms on the way still. We've got a new severe thunderstorm warning for a little individual cell. Doesn't have a lot of energy, but it is trying to rotate moving into Jackson, and we got a confirmed tornado now to the east of Parsons. So this is a big storm northeast of Parsons. Good news for us, that one's moving over east of the Tennessee River, but this one is still on its way. It doesn't look super impressive on the radar, and you notice just 7 lightning strikes, but you see that little area, that little hook trying to form north of Denmark, so it could try to produce a tornado. There's definitely rotation here south of Huntersville. If this was a bigger storm, the National Weather Service would have already issued a tornado warning on it, but the problem is it's such a little guy, doesn't have a lot of energy, but it's got some serious rotation with it, so this could possibly produce a tornado as it gets very close into Jackson. So we're going to stick with this storm here until it moves through the city. Although it's just a severe thunderstorm warning, this storm has rotation. It's definitely concerning and could pop a tornado warning at any time. So we don't want to miss that. So here's our area of rotation north of Denmark, south of Huntersville. Looks like if it continues to track up to the northeast, it'll race right south of the interstate. You see that center of rotation? Again, severe thunderstorm warning. This is not even a tornado warning right now. No confirmed tornado on the ground if you're just joining us, but there is some rotation. That's why we've got this severe thunderstorm warning. It looks like it's going to stay just south of the interstate, moving right into downtown Jackson. So here's a look at the timing of this. Bemis Jackson probably here. I have you at 3:22. When it comes into East Union, 3:25. Oakfield looks like around 3:30. Zoom it out a little bit, we'll kind of extend it. A couple other places, if it continues, Claybrook, Blue Goose, Crucifer, Carroll, if it continues to track up to the northeast. Again, radar rotation, but this is not a tornado warning right now. It's just a severe thunderstorm warning. We do have this cell over here, which is a confirmed tornado. Look how small this storm is. So even the littlest baby storms tonight can produce a tornado. That's a confirmed tornado. That means either law enforcement saw it or a storm spotter. So there's a tornado on the ground with that tiny little cell. That's why we think this one, even west of Jackson, may try to produce a tornado. There's a lot of spin still in the atmosphere tonight. So any of these little individual cells could produce a tornado pretty quickly tonight. This one has got 244 lightning strikes just with this one storm. Looks like it's got maybe a little bit of hail right along the river right now. This is now northeast of Parsons, moving out of the way. So we've got our Jackson storm. We'll get another update on that one, but we do want to keep an eye on these ones off to the west because we do have a tornado warning for that southern storm, and this one's also trying to rotate as it gets closer to the river tonight. This one is severe thunderstorm warned for Lauderdale County. It looks like we've got some rotation. So, all right, we are going to get a tornado warning. That's what we stuck around on TV for the storm coming in to Jackson. So we'll get that. Jordan's going to pull that information up, but I do want to touch base one more time on our southern tornado warning. That's this one as it gets closer to the Mississippi River. This also radar indicated rotation, not seeing anything that looks like a tornado on the ground for that one. So we'll watch all these storms as they're going to continue to track up to the northeast tonight. We've got this other one up here into Obion counties as well. And then looks like there's still some little bit of rotation on this one, maybe worth watching to the east of Hornbeak as well near Troy. So we're going to watch that closely, but if you're in Jackson, the tornado sirens are about to go off. We do have a tornado warning, so they are going off right now here in the Jackson area for a storm with some rotation. So Jordan, why don't you go ahead and read us the verbiage from the National Weather Service on our tornado warning. So
it has not populated on my system yet. If you want, we can take Max 2. We can actually see a bit of a lowering on Max 2 on our downtown Jackson camera. I'm going to real quick try and find the wording for this tornado warning. Again, it's not populated in my system yet. So.
All right, go, Jordan, why don't you just talk about what you're seeing there on the camera. I'll see if I can find that information.
Just a second, I skipped right off of it. But we do have, it's starting to look like it might, if it does produce, it would become rain wrapped very quickly. But just in the middle of our camera right there, just to the north of these two barn-looking buildings, I'm not sure what they are, but there is a pronounced lowering on those clouds. Again, it's a little far away for us to be able to see if there's a funnel cloud on it. But again, tornado warning, we do have some rotation in that direction. This is looking southwest over downtown Jackson, looking southwest. Again, not able to confirm anything right now with our own eyes, but if it does, likely with what we're seeing on radar, it would become rain wrapped pretty quickly. We do have, there's the wording, I will get it. We have radar indicated rotation moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. Locations impacted include Three-Way, Neely, Bemis, Cedar Grove, Huntersville, Jackson, Westover, Juneau, Fairview, Gilmore, Medina, Blue Goose, Sitka, East Union, Claybrook, Adair, Young's Crossing West, Roberts, and Windy City. This tornado warning is for Henderson, northwestern Henderson, southeastern Gibson, southwestern Carroll, and Madison County until 4 o'clock. The storm was located 7 miles to the north of Mercer and 10 miles southwest of Jackson.
All right, we're going to do a real quick radar update, then we're going to get with Jordan on our tornado tips. Let's hop on back on Max 1 real quick. Do want to show you the latest on the radar here with this storm as it is moving right now to the southwest of Jackson. Here's our little area of concern for rotation. Got this little notch north of Neely. Tornado warnings out till 4 o'clock. This is radar indicated. No reports of a tornado on the ground, but we've been watching it rotate for about the last 20 minutes just south of the interstate. It's moving almost parallel to I-40, which will put it right in to downtown Jackson here in about 10 minutes. So again, no reports of an actual tornado on the ground yet, but there is plenty of rotation. It's a small little storm, but it is spinning pretty quickly. Right there, looks like south of 70. Again, as it tracks up to the northeast, you'll notice it's about 10 minutes out from moving into downtown Jackson where that center of rotation is. Here's a look at the timing real quick. You notice Jackson State Community College, East Union, Claybrook, Blue Goose, and the hospital here around 3:22. That's the timing of that as it comes by. Zoomed it out a little bit here, and then we'll show you basically the general direction that it's going to go. So there's our little area of rotation south of Huntersville, tracking to the northeast. Here's one more look. We extend it out. If it continues in the same direction, Lexington maybe around 350, Cedar Grove 338. All right, Jordan, why don't you go ahead and give some safety tips here, and we'll get a closer look on the radar setup on one. Go ahead.
All right, folks, make sure you have multiple ways to stay weather aware. We've heard our phones go off. Make sure you've got at least 2 other ways, whether that be us on your TV, your phone, weather radio, our app. All right, also make sure if you're in a vehicle, get out of it and seek more substantial shelter. But if you are stuck in your vehicle and need to do something in it to get away, watch out for trees, downed power lines, and if you encounter flooded roadways, turn around, don't drown. If you're inside a building, make sure it's a sturdy building, first of all, and find the smallest, most central room on the lowest floor, and make sure you're away from all windows. Have on hand, we're going to...
All right, Jordan, check this out on the camera here. You can definitely see that lowering.
That lowering is coming in on downtown Jackson. That is, man, that is low to the ground. I still can't tell if that's scud or a funnel cloud, but I can see definitely some fingers trying to come out of that cloud. Again, we need to keep a very close eye on this. This is on our downtown Jackson camera looking southwest of downtown. This is looking towards Denmark, towards Westover. Again, this is going to be moving into downtown Jackson very, very soon.
Yeah, so back on Max 1, you notice the rotation coming right over into Westover. It will be coming right into downtown Jackson, folks. Again, there's no reports of a tornado on the ground, but there's lowering. There's plenty of rotation with this storm. So again, if you're in Jackson at all, you probably should be heading to your safe spot. Westover, you need to be there immediately. Lawrence, Liberty Tech. The center of rotation is going to stay just south of I-40. So if you're north of I-40, I don't see a possible tornado for you. But if you are just along and south of I-40, probably need to be in your safe spot. If you're in Windy City, Three-Way, Adair, this is going to pass just to the south of you. But if you're Westover for sure, Jackson, East Union, Lawrence, right there, right south of the interstate as it moves over into the Claybrook area. So again, back on, we'll take one more look at the camera, then we'll get back to the radar. So go ahead. So here's our lowering. If you're looking to the southwest of Jackson, you'll notice that there is that lowering there. That's what we call a wall cloud. So you can see that wall cloud right there coming on down, and you notice there's several different areas. Jordan, do you know how to zoom in on that camera, or do you need me to do it?
I do not know how to zoom in on this camera. Right, I'm going to send a screenshot of this to the Weather Service real quick.
Okay, I'm gonna zoom in here on that rotation. So we'll go ahead and pull that up, and we will get closer in on that. And so there are several. All right, that looks like maybe a tornado on the ground right there. So. All right, so let me go ahead and pull this back up full. We'll keep an eye on this. All right, so this might be a tornado trying to come down there. Looks like there may be another little area of rotation there. So we're going to watch these two little areas as they come through. Can you two-box this? Can you put this up in one image and then put the radar in another image? I'm not sure if the guys in the back can do that or not. Just let me know. If not, we'll stick on the camera view for a minute, because obviously your radar can tell you something, but when you got a view at it like this, you know, you can definitely see very well what's going on. So, all right, so there's a look at the radar in downtown Jackson. Again, there's that little notch right back there behind it. You're probably seeing two different areas of rotation, one there, and those you kind of see over here on the radar. You notice there's the one east of Westover and then the one west of Westover. So kind of two different areas of rotation showing up there. It's just to the southwest of Jackson right now as it comes into the city. This is good. I do not see a tornado on the ground right now, but you notice every one of these little fingers coming down at the bottom of this wall cloud are going to try to spin up and produce a tornado. So that's why we do just have a radar indicated tornado. But look at all that rotation there. Huge wall cloud is rotating just to the west of Jackson right now. So as it tracks up to the northeast, it's coming right into downtown Jackson. There's another look at the radar Looks like just to the west of Westover is where we have that center of rotation. I don't see anything bright. Even if we didn't have this camera view, I would say this probably wasn't on the ground, just from what we're seeing there on the radar. We're not picking up any debris as it moves right into Jackson right now. But a radar indicated tornado warning with a lot of rotation there off in that camera shot. I'm going to try to move. So yeah, but if you're in Jackson, you definitely need to be in your safe spot. Even if we can't say this is on the ground currently, that doesn't mean it won't spin up immediately, as it comes into to town itself. So we'll get a wider view here so we can watch that entire wall cloud as it comes in to make sure that we don't miss anything there. So all right, so there's the wall cloud. You can kind of see it off in the distance. Anywhere along this little wall cloud, we may see the tornado come down. So those are the areas that we usually watch for some potential tornadoes. So I'm going to head back over to the computer, kind of reset these graphics for you while we watch this area of rotation together. I'm going to zoom it out a little bit so we get everything in the picture there, and watch that. I mean, you can see the rotation clearly on this camera as it's coming on in. So we've got multiple little fingers trying to come on down. So that's where the tornado would come out, anywhere along that actual wall cloud structure that you see there. So we got a good view at it on our camera. We've got a very good view at it on the radar. And we're going to watch it here. So look at, I mean, you can definitely see that little inflow notch here on the radar. I'll draw that in for you. So here's where the winds are going into the storm, which is wrapping back around this way. And that's about as classic of a radar image as you can get without an actual tornado there on the ground. So this is definitely needs to be tornado warned. You need to be in your safe spot if you're in the Jackson area. If you're in Huntersville, Neely, it's already past you. But definitely still some rotation. It's not down to the ground yet anywhere we can see, but it's getting trying very hard to produce a tornado as it comes on through. I'm just glad this is not a stronger storm, because if this was a stronger storm, it very likely could be producing a very large tornado coming into the city right now. But it's a little storm. I know it doesn't look little when you look at it on the camera view there, but when we look at it on our actual radar, compared to some of those other storms off to the west tonight that are much larger. But we've got a lot of rotation here in the Jackson area as this storm does come on by. Get a couple more trackers on this since it has moved since the last time we put a tracker on it. So there we go, right through Jackson along 40. So there's a look at the timing on that one for you. Does include Liberty Tech, Claybrook, Blue Goose Law, Westover Elementary School. So kind of clear that one out. Get one more peek at that. I like the radar. It doesn't look as tight as it did about 10 minutes ago as far as looking like there could have been a tornado on the ground. But here's still, we'll circle the area of rotation again. It's right there just to the southwest of Jackson. It looks like it's going to stay just right along and south of I-40 as it comes on in. And here's a more zoomed out view. Go ahead, Jordan.
Got a ham radio operator spotter reported touchdown on Highway 223 west of McKellar-Sipes.
All right, so what did they say what time that was?
That was just, does not say anything about a time. That message was sent at 3:22, and the only reason they aren't convinced is that they lost a visual on debris.
Okay. Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah.
Say that again.
So at 3:22, a ham radio in Madison County spotter reported a touchdown on Highway 223 just west of McKellar-Sipes Airport. So the only reason they haven't stuck with it is because they've lost the visual on debris. So
all right.
Definitely, Jackson, get in your safe spot right now.
All right, we've got a very good view of this. Let's get a close view in here. Let's see how close we can get into where those fingers are trying to come on down there. Right there. So again, not seeing any of that currently on the ground, but again, it's still a ways away. But definitely a wall cloud on the way, and a possible tornado could form at any minute, as again we have had a report of a brief touchdown with this. But they're still going with radar indicated tornado warning, Jordan, right?
Right.
All right, so National Weather Service is sticking with radar indicated. I think they probably got our feed up. They're probably watching the same camera we are, which is giving them a really good idea. If there was a tornado on the ground, we would see it very clearly, I think, with our camera. But okay, so they just did update it now. You see that pink? So they are going with a confirmed tornado from the spotter report that they got out at the airport. So again, definitely want to head inside if you're in Jackson. It looks like the little area of rotation now, maybe even moving a little bit into West and North Jackson, very close to the interstate by that little inflow notch that you see there to the west of the city. We'll see what it looks like on velocity there. Yeah, so it looks like it's moved even a little bit further to the north, the area of rotation now. So if you're in North Jackson, you probably need to be in your safe spot, especially if you're along the interstate there. Gilmore, Liberty Tech. You'll notice that rotation area has kind of jumped a little bit further to the north. Most of the storm is moving east, but the center of rotation climbed a little bit to the north. So Gilmer, Carroll, Liberty Tech, you need to be in your safe spot as this comes through. Claybrook looks pretty rural here through Ashport Road. Let me give a couple of the other areas that I think I'm worried about. All right, so Old Medina Road, it's going to be very close to us here at Wbbj. There through Wright Drive, Oakfield, Ashport Road, Spring Creek Law Road in general. I think that's where it could be going. So it's going to be pretty much riding the interstate as it comes through. Jordan, the National Weather Service said they went with the confirmed because of the report they got, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Visual on a touchdown, even though debris is not visual right now. They're going with confirmed because a train spotter saw one.
All right, so again, lot of areas along this little wall cloud structure may try to spin up. Jordan's going to keep a very close eye on the camera, and if we need to move it, we can. But again, pretty broad rotation there, nothing too tight. Still, I'm not seeing anything on the debris tracker. Jordan, did you look at the CC as well? I didn't see anything.
I have not looked at CC yet. I'm almost hesitant to take the camera off of Max 2, so I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get radar data from my phone.
Okay, yeah, good idea.
Real quick. I'm gonna look at a loop real quickly just to see. Not anything convincing. There's a little bit of a debris drop just a few minutes ago, but again, that tracks with the report, so nothing that radar would tell me is on the ground, but spotter confirmed, or a spotter reported tornado just to the southwest of Jackson, tracks with everything we're seeing on radar.
All right, so we'll go ahead and circle the area. It looks like they're doing something with the severe thunderstorm warning, but we're still going to go with the radar or the confirmed tornado from the spotter report out there at the airport. So there's a general direction of where we think the rotation is going to go with this storm. So again, we're watching everything very closely on our camera here for any possible lowering. Here's a look at the radar. Jordan will keep the camera up. So again, they confirmed by a spotter tornado warning out for us here in Jackson. Looks like the storm is where there would be the tornado is right there now, just northwest of downtown. So maybe right along the interstate. That's where the most likely area of that inflow notch is. So it'd probably be trying to develop right here. Currently south of Gilmore, right along the interstate. As it tracks up to the northeast. You'll notice on the camera still behind us, there's a little bit of lowering. It looks like it's going to be north of South Jackson right now, but there's the area of the rotation that we can pick up on our velocity product just to the northwest of the city right now. As it moves, it looks like it's going to almost go parallel to the interstate. Eventually it'll move north of the interstate here in a few scans as it gets a little bit further to the north, but pretty large area here of rotation. So a big mesocyclone, but not two areas next to each other with really bright colors. Like if we had a tornado on the ground, there'd be a really bright green and a really bright red right next to each other. You notice these colors are kind of dull. That red's bright. If it was up here, that would be maybe a bigger sign that there could be a tornado on the ground still with this as it tracks on up to the northeast. But tornado warning out for Jackson. Again, they did confirm a brief touchdown. A storm spotter did out by the airport. That's why you see the pink color. If it was red, it would be radar indicated. If it goes purple, that means it's a considerable large tornado on the ground, dangerous situation. And if it goes black, that would be a tornado emergency, and hopefully we don't have to deal with any of those here this evening. So here's a look at the timing on this as it moves through. You'll notice it's still Carroll, Law, looks like Hart School maybe at the top of the hour as it comes by. But here's the center of rotation north of Jackson, right there along I-40 as it moves through. But very fast moving. You can see how fast the clouds are racing off to the north of us, away from where our camera view is. But so again, here's the general thought as the area of rotation is going to move here right along 40 and then track up to the northeast. The center rotation is eventually going to cross the interstate. That's going to happen here probably in the next 5-10 minutes because it's moving a little bit more north than the interstate runs. So Jordan, will you move over on Max 1? I got the timing. You'll notice how it's off on the TV because we've cut the screen down here a little bit. There you go. Move that up next to the lightning strike banner. To the left of the lightning strike banner, right there. All right, so here's a look at the timing here of coming into Lexington. If it continues to rotate, eventually it could be coming into Holiday and Camden in about an hour. That's, again, if this still rotates and still has that low-level wall cloud with it and tries to come on by. We're also watching that storm there off to the east. Let's go ahead and pull the camera full now, Jordan, so we can focus in. There you go. Talk about that wall cloud that you can see there very well in the picture.
So that wall cloud, that is the area of rotation where we would see a tornado if there was one. Fortunately, over the last several minutes, I've been keeping a very, very sharp eye on this. Have not seen anything that looks much like a funnel cloud since that report came in, fortunately. But we are still keeping an eye on this. I'm actually going to pan it to the right because, again, it is starting to race out of the range of our camera. Right there on the right edge of it looks like that would be the most likely spot right now. Joel, if you could zoom that in for me, would like to know what part.
That's straight north of Jackson.
Straight north of downtown Jackson. That's those fingers are looking awfully low, but again, we can't confirm if anything's on the ground yet, and we'll take another look at debris on my phone. Again, I'm not seeing anything that's confirming something's down. It does look like rotation may have tightened up in the last scan, but right now we can't confirm a tornado's on the ground. If you're in North Jackson, Northeast Jackson, east of Jackson, on or along I-40, you need to be seeking shelter right now. This would be coming close to Rock Springs is probably the closest community outside of the Polygon. That would be in the path here, but Lawrence, you're south of the rotation, but still staying in your safe spot. Gilmore, Oakfield, Liberty Tech, Airways Boulevard at I-40. That is the next big interchange in the path of this rotation. We've got Max 1, we've got pulling up a track. It's going to put it at Hurt School at 335, Claybrook at 345, Blue Goose at 349, Dry School at 350.
All right, so let's get a closer, thank you, Jordan. Let's get a closer look at where the actual center of rotation is. It's right there at Old Medina Road. Okay, we can see that as well on the velocity product. So there's our area of rotation between Gilmore and Lawrence. So, okay, so right there in the Lawrence area. So we'll give you some of these streets: Venture Parkway, Ridgecrest Road, Liberty Tech, right over 70, as Jordan said, 70 and I-40 interchange. And then if it continues to track up, again, right along I-40, that's why a lot of streets aren't showing up, because you got I-40, but eventually crossing near Law Road as well as it tracks up to the northeast. So again, right now, we'll see if we can get some smaller streets to show up there. All right, so it's right over Royal Street right now, Dr. Effie Wright Drive, Venture Parkway, Ridgecrest Road Extension. It's going to be very close to you. If you live in these communities, you need to be in your safe spot. Watson Road, again, riding the Ridgecrest Road Extension all the way up to I-40. So if you're anywhere near I-40 there, where it exits with Highway 70, that's where we think the rotation is. It may also be as far north as this community here with Christmasville, Kenworth Boulevard, Sand Pebble Drive. If you're in that neighborhood right there along 40, Bancorp South, Ridgecrest Road again, Bedford White. Okay, this looks like it could be coming your way as well. definitely looks like it's tough to see there on our camera. It's rain wrapped, but this is as tight as the rotation's been in a couple of scans. So a little bit concerned. Again, Watson Road, Bedford White Road, Holland, New Deal Road, Joy Lane, Quiet Dale. This is coming your way. Again, right along 70, Winterwood Drive, 7 Oaks. If it continues up to the northeast, Stanfield Road, Waynick Road, Doak Lane, Doak Mason Road. These are all areas that are going to be very close to this as it tracks right along, if not north of the interstate. So we'll head back to the camera here. We'll try to zoom it out some because it's looking like it's rain wrapped from the view that we have on it right now. So it doesn't look like we'll be able to see anything now coming on down from our cameras. It looks like it's rain wrapped. But back to the radar here. Again, we've got our storm in Jackson. We've also got this big line on the way, which is going to start to move into our viewing area here real soon, including Gibson County. It's moving into Martin right now, as well as Chester County, Haywood County. So we're going to focus in a lot on that line, but we still have our tornado-warned storm here in Jackson. It's a little cell, but it has been rotating, and it has had a report of a brief tornado touchdown near the airport. It looks like it's running right over I-40 right now. Look, there's only 7 lightning strikes. It's a little storm, but there is so much rotation right now that even a little storm like this could easily produce a tornado. Oh, I want to go back to that. Look, there's 2 inflow notches. So there's 2 areas of rotation coming in. So this storm is trying to rotate in 2 different places along that wall cloud. But this one is north of Liberty Tech is the most likely area where we've got that little notch coming on in here just to the east of Ridgecrest Road Extension. Again, this is going to go right over Liberty Tech any minute and then tracking along 40. So if you're within a mile or 2 north or south of I-40, you know roughly where you live next to I-40. If you're 2 to 3 miles north of I-40 or a mile or 2 south, 2-3 miles south of I-40, you still need to be in your safe spot as it passes through. Downtown Jackson, we're in the clear from this. You can look off to the northeast and see the storm, but you won't be able to see the tornado if it did produce one because everything appears to be rain wrapped right now as it comes on by. But definitely some rotation there. Looks like it's riding right along the interstate, tracking up to the northeast. And here's another velocity product showing you the 2 areas of rotation. Kind of got a little bit of red and green there, but it's right around Liberty Tech is our main concern for a tornado if there was one touching the ground there. So Jordan, if you can, yeah, let's try to get another view of that camera there. Again, I'm going to draw a new tracker on this since we've got a new scan on it. So we'll go ahead and put a new tracker on this storm. Again, you can't see it really anymore on our camera, unfortunately. It looks pretty wrapped in rain from the spot that there would be producing a tornado with it. So we'll kind of go right along the general direction. So here's our newest tracker on it that we think that it's moving. So we'll get that set up right there. So there's our new tracker with this storm. So as it moves up to the northeast, again, you see a lot of smaller schools and communities in here. Claybrook School, it's going right through the Blue Goose area, and then eventually heading over into the Bargerton area, maybe Church of Christ, as it tracks up to the northeast. But right now it looks like it's centered right over, or just maybe a little bit north of Liberty Tech. Again, Jordan, anything from the National Weather Service? They're probably not getting any more information than what we're getting from this.
Right, they have not seen anything since the last report of the reported touchdown since Highway 223. That was just a little over, it was exactly 15 minutes ago. So that's, I guess no news would be good news in this case.
All right, so the area of rotation's right there at New Deal Road, Joy Lane, and it is now tracking right over 70 near Stewart Road, 7 Oaks Drive, Winterwood, Stanfield Road, Waynick Road, Springview Drive, Lakeview Drive, Fern Drive. So it's basically going to track up into that area. So staying just north, I think, of I-40. So if you're south of I-40, I think you're in the clear right now from what I'm seeing on the latest radar scan. So it looks like the rotation is now north of the interstate. So it's just moving past Liberty Tech right now. But definitely seeing some tightness still on the tornado-warned storm as it is moving to the northeast of Jackson. Again, it's a little storm, but there's a lot of rotation inside this little storm, and it has been trying to produce a tornado if it hasn't already yet. Again, we had a report of a brief touchdown, but it's really been trying for a while, and a lot of rotation. We watched it on the camera as it came on through. So one more time on the track on this. We'll keep it just north of I-40 this time. So it's going to be close to you in Cedar Grove. So if you're watching us in Cedar Grove, this may eventually become an issue for you. So we'll have to keep a very close eye on that as it moves through. Again, it looks like we're going to get some sort of update from the National Weather Service if they're going to keep this as a confirmed tornado or drop it back down to radar indicated, which to me seems the most likely thing for them to do. I think if it was confirmed right now, we'd be hearing reports of some people that took some damage, would at least be showing up in the chat, because it did definitely go through a pretty highly populated area, obviously, as it came through. So there's where it was earlier, and so here's where it is at right now. So we'll circle our area of rotation where it's going to go. So eventually it's going to be close to Clarksburg, I think. I think it stays just north of the interstate. It may be even moving more. Let me go ahead and circle this again, because if we go back a few scans, so it may be more going in closer to Clarksburg than Wildersville. So again, that's if it still holds together and still tries to rotate as it comes on by. We'll draw a bigger tracker on it for some communities down path of this. So again, if it continues in the general direction, there's a timing for, hold on, let me fix that. So look at the timing if it eventually goes up into the Camden area. So there's a look at timing for you guys. Jordan, anything new from the National Weather Service before I go ahead and do a radar recap?
We have reports from the TBI Highway Patrol building across the street from 350 Smith Lane in Jackson. Apparently we have roofs removed here in town.
Okay, where was that at?
350 Smith Lane is the address.
Okay, 350 Smith Lane. So we'll go ahead and see exactly where that's at in Jackson. 350 Smith Lane is over near the Kellogg's. Yeah, it's over there near the airport. That's where they talked about having that brief touchdown. It's just south of the airport where the Tennessee Highway Patrol headquarters is. So, so that's the Madison County Fire Department's a half mile or less than that, half mile away from there, out by the airport. So that's just south of the airport. So that's where they think there was that. That's why they confirmed that tornado. They thought there may have been a brief touchdown there. I'm trying to set up some other graphics because we've got more storms on the way coming on in from the west. It's going to start to impact some of our other communities, but we'll get. I still got to focus back on that Jackson storm. It's still got a pretty decent hook on it. So I'm going to head back over here to the weather wall. All right. So there is our tornado warned storm. We had a confirmed tornado on this. As we believe as it moved over the airport, it did have a real brief touchdown. We were trying to pick that up on our camera. But there's still a hook still left tonight. When we look inside this, there's where the hook is, just to the north of Claybrook. Looks like it did move out of my radar scan now, so go ahead and pull it back up. So the area of rotation right now is over Stanfield Road, Waynick Road. If there was a tornado, that's where it would be, through Doak Mason, tracking on up to the northeast, Hughes Road, Teach Hopper Road, Utley Road, Pillow Road. So that's where this storm is going to be going. So trying to get more communities. And so Law, if you're in the Law area, looks like it's going to be real close to you. But definitely still a classic hook on it. We've still got some rotation being detected on our velocity product. So this storm has a lot of low-level rotation still with it. It may drop down a tornado again at any time, like it did briefly just south of the airport. So as it moves up to the northeast, again, running very close to the interstate. I think now if you're south of I-40, this storm is going to stay just south of you. But if you're along I-40, and the people there that could look up to the north could see the storm very well. But again, the tornado appears to be rain wrapped if there was one, because we couldn't see it at all looking to the northeast of us on the camera. So still broad rotation. I'm not seeing anything right now on the radar or the debris product or our camera that says there's a tornado on the ground currently, but there is a lot of low-level rotation, and it could drop one within a matter of minutes as it tracks up to the northeast. So looking at Dry School, Law, Hart School eventually, if it continues in the same general direction, it could be coming your way. If you're watching us in Jackson, your tornado threat is done. You'll notice you're out of the polygon, but northeastern Madison County still going to be a problem for you. Southern Carroll County, and it looks like northern sections of Henderson County, maybe Wildersville, Clarksburg. It's going to be awful close to you as this storm comes by. It looks like it's going to stay north of Lexington and pretty much just ride north of I-40. There's the center of rotation, about a mile south of 70, as it looks like it's coming right into the Law area. So if you're in the Law area, you need to be in your safe spot until this storm passes. Again, it has had a history of dropping a brief tornado as it tracks up to the northeast. So let's check in with Jordan real quick. There's another look at the timing from this storm. Let's go ahead on Max 2 with Jordan. Jordan?
So fortunately, no new updates. They haven't even said if they're going to continue the warning or not. But we do have a video in Weather Service chat. We'll have that ready for you at some point if we can acquire the permissions for it. But right now, still no new updates on the storm other than the fact that we have a storm with a history of producing brief tornadoes. It's currently in northeast Madison County, heading towards Law. Joel, did you have the speed on that? Was it northeast at 40?
The last I looked, it was 40. I will tell you exactly what it says right now. It is moving 35 miles an hour to the northeast.
But we still have an intense inflow notch, a classic hook echo. We even have a bit of, you can see right here, I'm going to draw a line, a forward flank downdraft going right through the middle of the storm. That is usually one of the key signs that it's not done. But again, we're going to keep a close eye on this. We'll pull up velocity again just to see the latest scan. And rotation has tightened up a little bit since the last scan. We'll take you to that last scan. There was almost no green on the last scan. Now there's a fair bit, but again, not really anything able to confirm it with a debris signature on our debris tracker. But we definitely need to be in our safe spots. See, if you're between probably, I would suggest between Blue Goose and Lavinia, just to be safe, be in your safe spot. So that includes Cedar Grove, Mount Gilead, Law. We can zoom in closer to see if we can get any smaller communities to pop up. I'm not sure that we're going to get
Jordan,
anything.
look at the latest velocity scan. Go ahead and pull that up on your system, the storm relative velocity.
All right.
And it definitely is looking pretty tight right now
Yeah,
compared to the last scan.
Yeah, it definitely. Oh, even the newest scan has tightened up a
Yeah.
fair bit. Yeah. So Law, we need to be in our safe spots. Law, Cedar Grove, Mount Gilead, Jumbo, Clarksburg. You're downwind of this. They still haven't said anything about extending the warning yet.
There's no way they don't extend the warning from what we're seeing on the radar. So, but they may not extend it as a confirmed tornado. But this is going to be a tornado warning coming into Clarksburg and Wildersville. May include you in Huntington. It'll be close if they include Huntington in the polygon. Jordan?
Right. So definitely between Highway 70 and I-40 for sure. But to be definitely safe, if you are inside that polygon and you can draw a line outside of the edge of that polygon and you think you would be in it, go ahead and take your safe spot, because these storms, they can produce quick. There is actually, we just got a report of a sinkhole in Henry County, so we'll keep an eye on that. But rotation's definitely tightened over the last several minutes. Can't say for sure if it's going to produce, but if it does, don't try and look for it. It will be rain wrapped. Not seeing anything on debris right now, or really the hook echo has actually fizzled a little bit, but the rotation on velocity is still there. So the storm may be trying to cycle, and when it cycles, we're going to see the rotation re-intensify. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to produce again, but the chances would certainly be higher after the cycle goes.
All right. I wanted to give you a quick update on some other areas. We'll get to that, but let's just start with the top. Here's a look at our radar. On one, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning out for Martin. That strong storm, but not seeing much for rotation with that. That's why there's no tornado warning. There's a severe thunderstorm warning heading into Haywood County, Gibson County, Crockett County. These are all on the way for you. No tornado warnings along this back line. Jordan, I want you to spend the next couple minutes taking a look at this back line, all right? So I'm going to have you do a setup on that, look in it for some possible rotation along the line that is coming into Haywood, Gibson, as well as Crockett, all right? I'm going to update everyone quickly on the tornado warned storm here in Jackson, then we'll get to Jordan for more of a wider view update. So we did lose our little hook a little bit, as Jordan said. It looks like it's possibly trying to recycle. I hope it's trying to die. We should get an update here any minute from the National Weather Service if they're going to extend the tornado warning as a confirmed or just drop it as a radar indicated. And maybe after this last radar scan, they may drop it. But again, although we may not be seeing that classic inflow notch, there is still a lot of rotation showing up, still some bright colors. You still need to be in your safe spot if you're in Law till it passes by. Cedar Grove, you need to be in your safe spot. Clarksburg, it's on the way, although you're not under a tornado warning yet. You need to stay with us here in Clarksburg. There's still a lot of rotation here right along Spring Creek Law Road, heading into Law right now north of I-40. If you're south of I-40, I think it's going to miss you, but it's going to run parallel to I-40 just to the north. So here's a look at Mount Gilead, New Bethel Baptist Church, Hart School, Pritchard School, Jumbo, Parker Chapel. Eventually the center of rotation is going to come your way. Again, we do not have anything to suggest there's still a tornado on the ground with this storm, but it is still radar indicated at least. And the last update we got about 20 minutes ago from the National Weather Service said it was confirmed. That's because what we believe was a brief touchdown just to the south of McKellar-Sykes Airport. So as it tracks up to the northeast, again, if you're watching us in Jackson, you're done with this round. That doesn't mean there's not more coming here in the next couple of hours. Just this supercell that came through is now moved away from Jackson. But center of rotation, clearly you can see it in Law. Here's where the rotation is as it tracks up to the northeast. So it looks like it's going to be very close to Clarksburg if, again, it continues in the same general direction and path, moving just north of the interstate. All right, so here's kind of the big picture of the timing with this storm. It stays north of Lexington, but going to be very close to Holiday. Here's some of the timing. Again, if it turns north, maybe Camden. If it turns south, maybe Lexington, but I think it's going to stay very close to just north of the interstate. Look how small the storm is, but man, has it been trying to rotate for a while. These storms here that are coming on in are also pretty intense. Let's start up north here in Martin. We've got a lot of lightning here with this one, but very heavy rain, maybe some small hail and some gusty winds. And then we've got our southern line as well, which we're going to head over to 2 different severe thunderstorm warnings out right now till 4 o'clock. We're going to check in with Jordan here real quick on the latest on that back line. Jordan, are you ready? You need another minute.
Ready. I'm good to go.
All right, let's head over to 2.
Good news is none of the severe thunderstorm warnings on this line right now are tagged for a possible tornado. We'll start with the northern storm. Yes, there are some areas of broad rotation. There's even a new one that just popped up since I set this up, popping up just to the southwest of Martin, but also...
All right, Jordan, we're running an issue with your mic. So, all right, let's head back. We'll get to Jordan here in a second. Again, we still, for those of you joining us, we still have a tornado watch that's out. That tornado watch is out till 8 p.m., so we're not done with the storms yet, as they're still expected to come on by. So we still need to stay weather aware here for the next couple of hours with these storms. Real quick check on our Jackson storm. We'll get back to Jordan on his report on the back line here in about 30 seconds. So, all right, so we'll pull up the radar, put it back into a loop again, and it sounds like we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning for south of Covington. Looks like that one does include now sections of Haywood County. So, Jordan, you ready?
All right, let's go. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning coming in. We're going to start with this one in Weakley, Henry, Obion County. Several areas of broad rotation there. But the good news is, unless this new one is, none of these severe thunderstorm warnings are tagged for a possible tornado, and that is true with the new one for Fayette, Haywood, Shelby, and Tipton. That goes until 4:30. So that one is also tagged for 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-sized hail, moving east at 50. The interesting thing here is it's right on top of the radar, so we are actually missing a good chunk of this storm just because it is in such close proximity to the radar. But what we can do is we can still pan out just a little bit and slap a track on it. It's moving east at 50, and we'll get a track on that very shortly. It does look like this is going to clip portions of the community of Somerville. Bolivar, Henderson, and maybe even if it holds together down the line, Savannah, you might get clipped by this. But again, not tagged for a possible tornado right now, but we're looking at some strong winds, maybe some small hail coming on through with this. It is right now coming into Fayette Corners at 432.
There you go, Jordan.
Oh, we're still double boxed. Okay. We are going to be in Stanton at 415. That is southwestern Haywood County. Fayette Corners at 432. Whiteville at 439. 450. It'll be in Toone. That is going to be very close to the Hardeman-Chester County line, or Hardeman-Fayette County line, excuse me. Bolivar at 459. Henderson at 507. Finger at 513. Morris Chapel 533. Saltillo 539. I'm still waiting to see if they're going to extend the tornado warning. I have not seen anything from Memphis.
The fact that it's out of the polygon makes me think they're not, but there's still this should have a tornado warning on it, at least radar indicated, in my opinion. It's still got some serious rotation, but maybe I don't know. So all right, so we'll wait and see. We should hear something from them. Look, you can see 3 different radars. So we've got Memphis's radar, Fort Campbell, maybe Paducah. So we're getting a lot of different looks at it, and nothing again looks like there's a tornado on the ground with this storm right now. But there is still significant rotation. It's just such a little storm, little supercell. I think is the only thing that saved us from a potential really bad situation in Jackson. It's a little storm. If our storm energy was a little bit higher, this could have been a real bad situation. But because there was significant rotation and the storm went right through Jackson. But again, fingers crossed, prayers answered. It was a small storm. The ones also on the back line, good news with that. Those are beginning to come very linear. Again, linear is good. Typically not rotation. Linear is like straight line type situation. We're looking at it at the radar there, and it's definitely showing some pretty heavy rain coming on in. Thunderstorms through Martin, Palmersville, Cottage Grove. We got a severe thunderstorm warning on that one. That is out again until 4:30. So we'll go ahead and move that banner up to the top. That's Henry, Weakley, Obion County. That's eventually coming into Cottage Grove, Dresden. That's on the way. It'll be any minute in Dresden, any minute in Sharon with your thunderstorm. I do want to get a quick look here at Gibson County. So these storms are looking a lot more intense when we're using the radar up north than they are out of the Memphis radar. Have you seen that? Look at Jordan. Look at the difference.
Part of this could be attenuation just because it's right on top of the radar in Millington. But yeah, it does look a lot more intense coming out of Paducah. And I think that might just be because their Paducah radar right now, that radar site's in the clear. They have nothing coming their way.
All right. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. So we'll keep an eye on that. Jordan, do you want to explain what you were talking about, how that impacts the radar when it's covered with a thunderstorm?
Right. So we'll just go ahead and hop over down here to Shelby County where the Millington radar site is. And again, you can see right there, it's all sorts of distorted right on top of the radar. We'll zoom in even tighter, and you can see that right around the radar, there's actually a hole where we don't get any data. And when that beam hits rain that's right at the edge of its range, it really makes it difficult for the radar beams to go the 80, 90 miles it takes to get their full range. Right now, the Memphis radar can pick up storms. You can see we've got storms all the way up here on the Ohio River between Kentucky and Illinois. But because it's covered with a thunderstorm right now, we may not be getting the full picture. Some of these rain rates where you see some of these yellows and oranges, and we pop back over to the Paducah radar, might be a little less than what we'd actually expect.
All right. Thank you, Jordan. Very good job, bud. As far as what we got on Max 1, we still have our tornado warning, but you notice the storm has moved out of the tornado warn polygon. Jordan's going to find out what the National Weather Service is going to do with that. It expires at the top of the hour, so that's 2 minutes. So, but it's already out of the tornado warned area. It's actually got more lightning on it than when it had a tornado warning when it came through Jackson. You notice we're up to around 30 strikes. It only had about 6 or 7. A storm producing 6 to 7 lightning strikes, we think, spawned a brief tornado near the airport in Jackson. Kind of crazy there. It's a fast-moving storm. You're watching us in Law. You are good to go. It is now northeast of you. Cedar Grove, it's just passing you. Mount Gilead, there's the center of rotation. Just to the north of you, north of, excuse me, you're good if you're in Poplar Springs. Clarksburg, though, it is heading your way, but not a tornado warning, but still definitely rotating as it heads into your area. It's still kind of a scary little storm, but National Weather Service doesn't think it's currently a tornado threat, but it's definitely rotating. You can see it very well on the radar, that area of rotation, still north of I-40 by a couple of miles as it tracks up off to the east. Here, still look at the timing. Again, not a confirmed tornado, not a tornado warning, but a rotating storm that we are. Okay,
All right, Joel, I'm gonna
National
cut you
Weather
off here
Service.
just for a sec.
Okay, they just issued the severe thunderstorm warning, which means they're not going to continue the tornado warning. But let's get the latest with Jordan on the info.
We're going to keep a close eye on this. They did drop the tornado warning for now, but they are replacing it with a tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning. So the storm, it's produced in the past. There's nothing saying it can't produce again. But again, not enough rotation to maintain the tornado warning, but enough rotation to say we're still keeping an eye on it. Of course, this is moving into a rather almost, we can pop our Camden radar on it actually. The Camden radar actually has a fairly good view at this just because it's right there, right next to it. We'll take a look at velocity real quickly just to show you how far down it's come. And yeah, there's that rotation, the area of rotation would be just to the west of Clarksburg. And well, this right here near Jumbo is all it's picking up for rotation. So again, it has come down a fair bit. We can cross-reference this with, let's go with the, we can go with, where is it? Fort Campbell, Kentucky. And that, again, yeah, it's a little farther to the south on that radar. Not quite tight enough, in my opinion, for tornado warning, but still we're going to keep an eye on it because, again, the severe thunderstorm appears capable of producing another tornado.
All right, I'm trying to re-rack a few graphics here. I got so many that I have put in here from before, but we'll get back to them here in a second. I'll get back to that in a second. We'll get Jordan set up again to do another tour on the back stuff coming in. But this is why we're still watching that storm. There's still plenty of rotation. It's no longer got a tornado warning on it, but there is a lot of rotation here with this storm. As it tracks up to the northeast, again, general timing, it looks like it still is heading into the Clarksburg area. Again, severe thunderstorm warning, potential tornado, not a tornado warning. So it's just one step below a tornado warning, which means they're watching it very close. So again, there's the area of rotation. As it tracks up to the northeast, the severe thunderstorm warning is out till 4:45. I do believe we have a camera view to show you with this. We'll see if we can get that pulled up. Go ahead, Jordan. I believe that's out at the airport. Go ahead. What do you see?
This is the Kirkland's warehouse. This is where we got a report of some roof damage out in West Jackson over by the airport. So you can see there Jackson-Madison County Fire Department is out there with, I'm assuming, a team of firefighters up on the roof, first responders out there, making sure the building is either safe to stay inside or they're going to make some decisions and clear the building out in case of a, I don't imagine the velocities were too high, but again, we're a fair bit from the radar. We're going to keep an eye on the situation here. This is developing. This is where that reported touchdown in West Jackson was reported from earlier. You can see there's what looks like a bay door blown open by what a possible tornado earlier this afternoon, but there's a fire truck, an engine from a ladder truck with Madison County Jackson Fire Department right now. And we'll keep an eye on the situation, and we'll have updates for you coming up on the news later tonight.
All right, no reports of any injuries reported with that. There's our rotating storm. There's another tornado warning near only well away from us. But all right, let's talk about our back line. Let's get to that right now. We've got one severe thunderstorm warning down south and another one up north. Let's start with the northern one, now moving east of Martin. This one is moving into Cottage Grove area. It's coming through Dresden right now, probably some 60-mile-an-hour winds in Palmersville. There's a couple of different areas that we're watching for some possible spin-ups. Tornadoes not likely with this back line. The tornado threat was with these early rotating ones out in front of the main line. Again, that doesn't mean the lines don't produce a quick spin-up, but not supercell type tornadoes. All right, so we've got heavy rain coming into Gibson County right now. Dyer, Trenton, it's on the way. Humboldt, you probably got about 15, 20 minutes. till it shows up for you. And as Jordan was showing you, that's the radar. Severe thunderstorm warning right on top of the radar right now. That does include Fayette, Haywood, Shelby, and Tipton counties as well. So we've got a line, 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. We've got a rotating storm as well, which is now northeast of Madison County. All right, let's look for rotation along that line, right? This looks like straight line winds, but possibly up as high as 60 miles an hour. So some strong winds on the way into Alamo, Bells, and Brownsville. Up north here, this is also straight line winds. There's a little bit of rotation there. You see that tornado warning? I believe that is for that area of rotation. Let me kind of move this out. It looks like that's issued from the National Weather Service out of Paducah. So that may have been for the secondary storm. No. So they issued that warning for that storm right there. So right there, they think there's some rotation heading up near Murray into Kentucky. This is some very strong winds, though, coming into Henry County, Puryear, Paris. This is on the way, and along that little line, there could be a potential spin up there. So we're going to watch, Jordan and I are going to watch this real closely as this line of gusty winds heads right through Cottage Grove right now. Probably 60-mile-an-hour winds associated at least, and then maybe some tornadic concerns right on the border of Tennessee and Kentucky. All right, so we'll kind of zoom things out here back down to the south. As this line crosses the Mississippi, this will be it. So once this back line passes, that'll wrap things up. So I'm thinking between 6, maybe 7 o'clock at the latest till these storms do move past Hardin County. We're probably going to be done here in Jackson between 5 and 5:30. I think that's when our final push is going to come through. We're not done yet. Everyone east of this line, you still have thunderstorms on the way, potential severe weather, so don't let your guard down. Although most of the tornadoes here are out in front of the main line. Those are those rotating supercells. I'm glad they were weak ones. That one that came through Jackson, if that happened when we had a little bit more storm energy, again, that could have been another repeat of what we've had in the past. So thank goodness we didn't get that. Futurecast is showing that last push coming through Jackson around 5, Huntington through 5, and then 6 coming down into Selmer, Parsons, Savannah, and then by 7 it's wrapping things up. And we've got another Futurecast kind of showing this. It's a little earlier though. It thinks 4:35 coming into Lexington. I think this one's a little jump in the gun on the timing, but it's also got everything clearing out between 6 and 7 o'clock. Let's check back in with meteorologist Jordan Hubbard, who's taking a look again at our rotating storm, I believe, Jordan, near Clarksburg.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on this storm just because, you know, the Memphis radar's having a tough time hitting it because of the storm right on top of it. Paducah's got a pretty good view of it. It does have a donut, but here's the downside. When you look at the velocity, it's right at the edge of their range, so we can't really see the velocity data all that well. We pop up Camden, and it's showing some rotation, but again, not the best view. We've said it time and time again, the Camden radar is good, but it, sometimes when there's storms nearby, it struggles to look into the storms. It's helpful, and it's in a spot that's helpful to have, but here's a look. Let's see what radar this is. This is shooting from the Fort Campbell, Kentucky radar. This is picking up that we could be dealing with some hail in Clarksburg. We can actually query that and see what kind of hail we're looking at. And this says up to quarter, so I think that tracks with the size of the little hail core we have right to the west of Clarksburg. That is the wrong graphic.
Right along Clarksburg-Yuma Road, it looks like there's some hail heading into 22. So if you're just south or in Clarksburg, you may be too late. But if you're east of town, maybe Westport, you may want to get your car in the garage if you can. Looks like there's definitely some hail with that one. Jordan?
Right. We finally got, there's a solid view of the rotation. And depending on what radar this is, this could be shooting up pretty high. And yeah, that's pretty high. But those outbound reflectivity numbers are extremely high. I'm gonna actually check in with the Weather Service, and well, we have an update. They are beginning to cancel counties out of the watch. West Tennessee is not going to be included in that yet, but eastern Arkansas is getting wiped from the tornado watch, which means some of our western counties are going to be next.
All right, yeah, that's a pretty intense rotation there. I don't know what radar, I believe that's the Memphis radar. So let me go ahead and see if I can determine exactly which radar that is, and by pulling off the other ones. So yeah, that is Memphis, and it's got a pretty good look at that. Oh, so there you go. So Fort Campbell's got a good look at it. So that's Fort Campbell's. And then here's Memphis's. So that looks like some pretty decent rotation, probably enough that there should be a tornado warning on this. So, but we'll see what the National Weather Service decides to do with that. So I'm going to keep an eye on both those little radars, the Fort Campbell and the Memphis radar. Problem is it's so far away from the radars. Let me see if our Camden radar can pick it up. It's not showing rotation, which is good because again that one's closer to the radar. So, but we'll save that one in there so I can come back and look at all three of those radars here when we get a new scan with that supercell. Nothing from the National Weather Service, Jordan, on it?
They're not saying anything. Their eyes right now are on a storm in North Mississippi. They've got a chaser on it, and it's apparently had a history of producing as well as our supercell that we're watching right here.
All right, well, we're going to watch it, no doubt about it, as it's moving into southern Carroll County. It's right on the border of Carroll
A
and
new
Henderson
tornado
County.
warning for Carroll, Henderson, and Benton.
All right, so they saw what we did, and they're going to issue the tornado warning. So you're going to be here in Clarksburg, safe spot right now. There's our new tornado warning. So let's get some of the other areas down in the path. Yuma, safe spot. Westport, Dollar, safe spot. This could have a tornado on the ground as it's coming your way. We'll go back a couple scans here to try to have general direction. Westport, Dollar, Gizmonda, Birdsong Heights eventually could be very close to you at there right along Kentucky Lake. So it's going to be close to Camden. It may pass just south of you in Camden. So a lot of rotation showing up with this supercell within the last 15 minutes. So brand new tornado warning issued on this storm. As Jordan and I were watching it, we were expecting that warning to come out. Again, it's just radar indicated right now. There's no confirmed reports of a tornado, but it's got some pretty intense rotation on it for sure. Go ahead, Jordan, give us those tornado tips. I'll get the radar set up on this.
All right, folks, let's take a look at these tips. If you're in a vehicle, get out of it, get into a more substantial shelter. But if you have to get in your car to get to a more substantial shelter, make sure you're watching for downed trees, downed power lines across roads. If you encounter flooded roadways, turn around, don't drown. If you're sheltered, inside a sturdy building, no mobile homes, no cars. You need to be in the centralmost room on the lowest floor. Basement's great if you've got one. I know not everybody around here has a basement, but make sure you're also away from all windows. And you'll need to have on your hand some batteries and a flashlight in case you lose power, water, and a first aid kit for your health, and any time-sensitive medication you're going to have because this supercell, yes, there's a supercell with a tornado warning on it. It's not the only round of severe weather we've got coming. We've got another line of storms behind this supercell. It'll clear out sometime over the next several hours.
All right, it's a long ways away from the radar, but we are keeping a close eye on the debris tracker. All right, I'm going to head back to the weather wall, give you a quick update. We got a new tornado warning again that does include areas just north of I-40 into Carroll County. It is a more intense storm now than it was when it came through Jackson. It actually produced a brief tornado, so we need to watch it real closely. We've got our big line coming on in behind it, but a closer look at this, it is just north of the interstate, north of Wildersville. It's also got at least quarter, if not larger, hail. You can see the hail just to the west of Clarksburg. I'm betting that is larger than quarter size coming on in, maybe up to ping pong size hail. It's crossing 22 right now. You can see we just got a brand new radar scan. The center of rotation just south of Clarksburg, crossing 22. All right, we're keeping a very close eye on the debris tracker, although it is a ways away. Here's the center of rotation just south of Clarksburg. It is coming into Yuma. If there was a tornado on the ground, Yuma, it's going to impact you. You need to get in your safe spot. It's going to be very close to Westport. Dollar, it may pass just south of you as it tracks up to the northeast, but it's going to be very close. Center of rotation probably goes just north of Holiday, but if you're watching us in Holiday, you need to be watching that. But right there, that's where there would be a tornado. We're looking at it at multiple radars between Clarksburg and Yuma. Right there, we're picking it up at the Paducah radar or the Fort Campbell, as well as the Memphis radar. Here's a look at it from our Camden radar. Good news is it's not showing a large area of rotation, so maybe this is just rotating in the upper levels of the atmosphere and it's not quite on the ground yet. But we're going to continue to watch all three of those radars as it tracks up to the northeast. Here's a general look at timing for Dollar, Holiday, Chaseville, Gizmonda, and Center Hill School. So if you see your community there, probably want to head into your safe spot. Again, this is radar indicated, but some very well-defined rotation just about a mile or two south of Clarksburg as it tracks into southeastern Carroll County. Again, it's been rotating for a while as it's been tracking up to the northeast. If you're watching us in Jumbo, Wildersville, you're no longer under a threat for this, but ugly looking supercell there southeast of Clarksburg. Again, that's out till 5 p.m. That's our tornado warning with this storm. So we got that supercell. We've also got our line coming on in behind it. Nothing rotating that I'm seeing on the line, but it does extend now all the way up through Brownsville into Gibson County. There was a couple little kinks here we were watching near Cottage Grove, and then the storms are now coming into Greenfield. Looks like Trenton, they're on the way. Humboldt, they're probably about 10 to 15 minutes out before impacting you. Then coming in now to Brownsville, Hillville, probably about 15 minutes out before it gets to you. So I do want to look at some possible rotation. This looks like straight line winds to me all along this line, but maybe 60-mile-an-hour winds. And up north, we've had that area of rotation near Puryear, watching that. Again, a lot of straight line winds, I think, with this northern section as well. So although this is a pretty ugly line, not seeing much for tornado concerns from that line as it extends down to the south of Memphis. Jordan, any update from the National Weather Service on anything that we need to know?
I've not seen anything yet, but I do want to bring to our attention that this is the Fort Campbell view I have on Max 2, just to the southeast of Clarksburg, where those reds and greens are touching. We do have a little bit of a green drop. I'm worried that may be a debris ball, and I can't really tell for sure just by a spot, not untrained eye, but it's not something, usually with a tornado you would see a much cooler tone here, like a more of a blue or a gray even. But that matching up with velocity is something we need to keep a sharp eye on.
Yeah, let's stay on Jordan's here for a second. I'm trying to get another view. We just got a brand new radar scan. I'm trying to get it set up on Max 1 here. Jordan, go ahead and see if we're still seeing any rotation at all on the Camden radar. Why don't you check that out?
Camden radar. All right, we are seeing just a little bit. Let me match it up with another radar site real quick. And yeah, now that it's getting closer to Camden, between Westport and Clarksburg, lower levels looks a little broader, which is always a good sign. But we pop over to a farther away radar, and those, we got a bright blue against a red, which is mildly concerning. Actually, it's very concerning for Westport. Dollar, you need to be in your safe space. Holiday, Gizmonda, just to be safe. Chaseville, go ahead and head to your safe space. Garrettsburg. But right now, we can actually zoom in. Westport Road, State Highway 114. You are probably right under this right now. Remember, we get these scans and they are immediately outdated until we get the next scan. But this is coming very close to the Benton-Carroll County line. We'll take one more look at the debris tracker just to be, and it's still there, Joel. I'm not entirely sure that's not a weak tornado in progress.
All right, yeah, I see that near Westport. So definitely need to be in your safe spot. This is one we need to take serious, as there could be a tornado on the ground. These are some of the most intense radar scans we've had to date with this one. These are even more intense than when they came through Jackson, and they actually had that what we believe was a brief tornado spin up. So, all right, let's see on Max 1, we're almost set, ready to go with these new graphics. All right, let's head back to Max 1. We'll go back to the wall here. All right, so there's our big picture. We got our big line, which is beginning to move right into Gibson County right now. You're watching us in Gibson, Chester. It looks like Haywood County. You got some pretty ugly, gusty windstorms on the way, but no tornadic concerns along that line. But this storm here in southeastern Carroll County is still rotating. It's still got some very large hail. I bet at least ping-pong size hail in that hail cluster you see there east of Clarksburg. In Dollar, probably, again, maybe quarter-size hail looking at this view. But there's our little inflow notch. Where the tornado would be is just right south of Westport. If there was one right now, coming on in, wrapping up just to the east of Yuma along 114. So again, as this, we're going to watch this, the debris tracker. Jordan's going to look at it on multiple radars. He's going to check it out and see if we can pick up any debris from the 2 or 3 radars that take a look at it. But there's a rotation in Westport. We can see it on that radar product. Out of Memphis, we can see it. And then right here, again, it's a long ways away from all these radars, but it's definitely picking up that rotation there right around Westport. So there could be a tornado on the ground right now heading for State Route 114, coming close into Dollar. So if you're in this picture, you definitely need to be in your safe spot if you're in the Dollar area. Even our, look at the Camden radar, that's the first time I've seen it pick up a tornadic signature like that. So near Westport, if that's not on the ground, it is very close. So that's probably coming on into Dollar. And if you're northeast of Dollar, near the county line, you also need to be in your safe spot. So I believe there's a pretty good chance we got a tornado on the ground here. There's a look at the timing with this one for Dollar, Holiday, Chaseville, Gizmonda, Center Hill School. I'm going to get a closer view at that and give an updated tracker on that one. But that looks like there's probably a tornado on the ground there. So that's going up here into Gizmonda. We'll see what other towns, if we can get some more places to come up here. So Oak Grove Baptist Church, Pleasant Hill Baptist Church, Divider School, Fairview School, Gizmonda, Center Hill School. Those are all in the path of this potential tornado. Now, if it continues in that direction, it's going to be very close to Kentucky Lake, Birdsong's Heights, New Johnsonville. So it looks like it stays just south of Camden, but it's definitely something we're going to have to keep a close eye on, as almost all the radars are now picking up a pretty prevalent area of rotation right there near Westport. Should be getting a new scan here soon on that, but that's not what you want to see. You see when the greens and the reds are touching each other in a very small little area. When you got green, red directly on top of each other, there's a pretty good sign that there's a tornado in progress. All right, we're done again in Madison County from that storm, but we've got another one on the way coming on in from the west. So this tornado warning's out till 5 p.m. Again, it's about 5 miles north of I-40. If you're watching us in Holiday, south of I-40, it's going to pass just to the north of you. It'll pass just south of Brewston, but it is going to be very close to just south of Camden. I believe that's Highway 641. That's what it is. 641 is probably about 10 minutes away from being impacted by what we think is a tornado. So there's our supercell. It's got that inflow out. You can pick it up, even zoom it out this far on the radar. Let's get you updated, though, on the back line, starting to move into more of our populated communities here. Now east of Martin, Dresden, Cottage Grove, Paris. You got a thunderstorm on the way for you. We'll drop this down. There's a couple little notches along the leading edge heading into Gibson County, one near Humboldt, Trenton, Greenfield. We'll take a look at the velocity here in a minute, but none of that has a severe thunderstorm warning, I don't believe. We'll take a look. It might, though. I might have missed it. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning, though, for the southern cell. Yeah, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning now. Is this a new one, Jordan, that they issued, or did I miss that one?
Is this for the big one
Yeah.
right down the middle? That came out right at the same time they pulled the trigger on the tornado warning, so it kind of just got lost to the wayside. But it's just for wind and hail.
All right, so wind and hail, but let's go ahead and take a quick look at this for any sort of rotation at all in this line. Let's start down south here. That looks all like straight line winds to me. We've got straight line winds heading into Humboldt. It's going to get pretty windy right now. It's windy in Trenton. The winds are going to gust now in Humboldt, Milan, Bradford here in the next 5-10 minutes as that line comes through. But again, it just looks like straight line winds. We'll follow that line up to the north. Those look like some pretty intense straight line winds coming through Paris right now, Perrier. Let's see, Paris Landing State Park. You got some strong winds on the way in your area. But it looks like to me mostly just straight line winds along that line, but they could be 60, 70 mile an hour winds. So you don't want to mess around with that. Obviously, if you're in the path of that second line coming through, you need to head inside. So here's our big picture with these storms as they're tracking off to the east tonight. Again, if you're watching us, it looks like in Lake, Obion, Dyer, Lauderdale, Tipton County, your storm threat is over. And we're not done yet, though, for the majority of our counties. That includes us here in Jackson. All right, Jordan, what do you got set up on Max 2?
We went ahead and took a slice of this tornado warned storm as it's getting ready to cross into Benton County, and we've got hail pulses up to 25,000 feet, so definitely some probable large hail with this storm. But what we're going to do is we're going to wipe that, and I would like to pan the camera back to the north. Give me just a second while I fix that. But we're going to take another look at this just to be safe. We've still got some fairly tight rotation just coming into Dollar right now. Dollar, you need to be in your safe spot if you're not
Jordan,
already.
did you see, is that possible debris southeast of Dollar? You see that little white area that popped up, or you think probably not?
I don't think that's in the right spot. I would be if you go back to a couple scans ago, right there near Westport. I think that would have a better chance at being a debris signature
and
than
that's
that
lifted. Yep, and that's now lifted. So that's some pretty good news there. We can't confirm that there's a tornado on the ground, and also good news. National Weather Service just issued a severe thunderstorm warning for that same storm, which means they're probably less concerned about a tornado than they are the hail right now. Go ahead.
Right. The storm had they initially issued a severe thunderstorm warning on this storm before they pulled the trigger on a tornado warning, and I think what that update did just was to trim out
some of it.
Henderson and Madison.
Yep. All right. So the rotation has lessened as well in the last couple scans in and around Dollar, which is good, but it's still rotating, just maybe not as tight as it was a couple scans ago. So hopefully we continue to see some improvement on that. The Camden radar is showing kind of an interesting little feature there. Jordan, you see that on one. That's kind of showing definitely some rotation, which could be coming very close into the radar. So that's going to be neat to watch. That Camden radar, we have exclusive rights to that, by the way. We're the only TV station in the area that can show that radar. So that gives us a way to fill in some of the radar gaps in Carroll County, because Carroll County's been notorious for really bad radar coverage. It's because it's so far away from a lot of the radar. So that gives us another way to keep you safe here at Wbbj, to take another look at possible storms that go into Carroll County. So just another investment that Wbbj has made in keeping its viewers safe. So it's a great company to work for. It takes weather very seriously. We're still tracking, again, that two different areas of rotation right now. Kind of zoom things out. You notice now back here, do you see those really bright colors right there? See that? Between Clarksburg, Wildersville, that's when we think there may have been a tornado that touched down. And then if you notice the last couple scans, it's really losing the brightness. So really like that. If there was a tornado, it probably has lifted right now. Jordan, did you ever get access to that video that you were trying to get?
I have access to a video we've been given permission to use. So here's what I can do is, I'm not entirely sure. We may have to pull it up on our live cam computer.
All right, well, we haven't been using that in a while, so we'll let Jordan go ahead and pull that up, and then just try to get it built into a video scene, Jordan. Mm-hmm. Just save the video and then just get in a video scene. If you need me to do it, I'll let you take over the radar and I'll get it. We'll give him a few minutes. All right, so here's what we have. We've got, again, the tornado warned storm with some hail south of Camden. And here's our big line. So if you're watching us in Dyersburg, Covington, Memphis, and Martin, it looks like the severe weather threat is done for you guys. But the storm's coming racing through Gibson County right now. We'll get a quick update on this. It's still got that inflow notch, so it's still rotating. You can clearly see that northwest of Holiday. It just may be rotating more in the mid-levels of the storm than down at the surface. So no debris showing up. That little area that Jordan and I were watching for debris looks like it's gone, so good news there. The rotation from this radar is not too bad. I believe this one's coming in out of Fort Campbell. We'll take a look. We got the Paducah radar and the Memphis radar still showing a little rotation, but nothing like what it was about 15 minutes ago. Here's the Camden radar, still some mid-level rotation, not seeing any reds and greens bright right next to each other. This is the most likely area still for possible rotation heading into Gizmonda, Birdsong Heights. Still may want to be in your safe spot in Gizmonda as it comes through. Looks like the rotation will stay north of Coxburg, north of Holiday. It will cross 641 though here in a few minutes, but not as tight as it looked again about 10 minutes ago. So when we say tight, that's when the center of rotation gets in a small area. When we say broad, it's when it's more loose. It's got less rotation when it's more of a larger area. We like larger areas of rotation than smaller areas, because when the small areas show up, that's a good sign that there's a tornado trying to form. Like, see how bright it was when it came through Clarksburg and Wildersville, real close to there, and then we're starting to lose the brightness of the colors. But again, we're still going to keep an eye on that. All right, I want to give you an update on the other storms coming in. We've got storms extending from Paris over through McKenzie, Milan, down into Brownsville now, Madison County. We've got another one on the way. Looks just like gusty winds though this time, but we do have that severe thunderstorm warning out up to the north till 5. That is racing into Paris right now. We've got some pretty intense storms approaching Humboldt, Trenton, Greenfield, Milan, Alamo coming through your area, Bells, Brownsville extending down into Mason. And it looks like we got a brand new severe thunderstorm warning. I believe this is for the south one, which now includes Whiteville, Hillville, looks like Meaden and Toone. I believe is now under a severe thunderstorm warning. So we got the big warning up to the north. This one is coming into Jackson here probably about the top of the hour, real close to 5 o'clock. And that's when we'll be, if we have no more tornado warnings at 5, we're going to start our regular news. We'll go on at 5. If there's still tornado warnings, we're still going to cover obviously our weather. We'll see what they go ahead and do. Jordan, when is that tornado warning out till? Is it out till 5 or 4:45?
Let me query it real quick. It is out until 5.
Okay, then we're going to stick around till about 5 o'clock. Then as this storm crosses the Tennessee River, we're going to have our regular news here, WBBJ Eyewitness News at 5. We'll get that going off. We'll obviously still have weather during the news, but it'll be a regular newscast unless we have another tornado warning that develops. All right, so we still got our thunderstorms sitting up to the north, some gusty winds heading right towards the Tennessee River right now. Still a lot of lightning with this line, so we'll get that lightning count. Still, look at that, 650 or so strikes here in West Tennessee. So we've got that line extending now working very close to Madison County. Again, behind the line, the severe storm threat's done. So probably going to be between 6, 7 o'clock before our severe thunderstorm threat has wrapped up. But I think our tornado threat is going to be done here by the top of the hour. And then everything's going to turn into a line coming through Jackson close to 5, then extending down to the Hardin County, maybe through 6, and then tracking out around 7 o'clock. And then we're just looking at some, maybe a few light showers tonight. This radar is a little ahead. So this is probably going to be 5:30 coming into Lexington, Henderson, and 6:37 moving out of Savannah as it tracks on out. We'll check back in with meteorologist Jordan Hubbard with a look at our tornado warned storm. And Jordan, did you ever get that video up?
I never could. It's a Facebook video, so it's...
All right, I'll work on it, bud.
It's a little difficult to download.
Is it in our storm team weather?
I did send it in our storm team chat. I also put it...
All right, I got it.
An email.
Yeah, go ahead. I got it.
But good news is about our tornado warned storm. We'll take a look at it. First of all, on reflectivity, it looks messy. A few scans ago, it looked like it tried to cycle and failed, which is best case scenario. You see that a second pocket of rotation popped up between Clarksburg and Holiday. This was 10 minutes ago, and now we come up to the present time. Rotation's very broad, very weak between Holiday and Camden, about to cross Highway 641. They just trimmed the severe thunderstorm warning. I imagine they're going to do the same to the tornado warning here very shortly, but also we're going to pop up reflectivity one more time, and you can see it is very close to being caught by the line. And when that happens, it's just going to get ingested into the line, and the tornado threat's going to diminish rather quickly with that part of the storm.
All right, Jordan, you got to keep going, but I'm working on getting that video pulled up. Go ahead.
So we'll take a look at some of these severe thunderstorm warnings. Again, none of them, to my knowledge, have been tagged for possible tornado. The one that just came out for Henry County is not. That did observe a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust somewhere inside that storm. We'll pop up the severe thunderstorm warning for Carroll, Gibson, Henderson, and Madison. That is not into Jackson, by the way. It still looks like the Memphis radar is having some issues with some of these storms. You may see there's a little bit of a hook there just to the west of Jackson. Not necessarily concerned with that being an area of rotation, more so as it is just some storm inflow trying to you pop up reflectivity, or not reflectivity, velocity, and there's no rotation right there to the north of Huntersville. And then again, we'll pop over to the newest severe thunderstorm warning for Haywood, southern Madison, Fayette, and northern Haywood. Again, quarter-sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Both radar indicated, so there's not been a whole lot of ground truth with some of these severe thunderstorm warnings. Not a lot going on at the surface with this line, which is a good thing, but we can probably here in the next few minutes get a good possible shelf cloud on our downtown Jackson camera. We'll have to wait until Chief Meteorologist Joel Barnes is done with the live computer.
I had it pulled up and I loaded it and it crashed my computer, Jordan. So give me another second.
Alrighty.
I'll try one more time.
All right, so we'll take one more look at our tornado warned storm. It does look like a large hail core has developed over the last couple of scans. That is moving to the northeast. It might catch the south side of Camden, should miss New Johnsonville to the west, but still be in your safe. You are under a tornado warning. Part of the cell has touched the Tennessee River, so we're almost there. We'll take one more look at storm relative velocity. Again, that is extremely weak and extremely broad rotation there. It's almost, we can actually put a ruler on that. That whole rotation is about 4 miles wide, which is, it's very, very rare that you see a mesocyclone that wide that does produce a tornado. So the good news is, it does look like our tornado threat is diminishing with this supercell. Again, it is about to get ingested by the main line, which again really helps our chances for tornadoes to diminish. But right now we also have a, not a warning per se, but a heads up from the National Weather Service that Haywood and Crockett County, you are likely experiencing some very strong winds right now. We'll pop up velocity and get a query on that for you just really quickly. We'll switch over to the radar tab and click on velocity. Yeah, that does look like some strong winds. It does look like it's crossed into the Madison County side of the county line here, but we'll pop a query on that. 50 miles per hour, that's just to the northwest of Huntersville, and 44 miles per hour to the south of Brownsville. So some pretty strong winds here, although they are sub-severe, but again, they just have to gust up to 58 miles per hour to be considered a severe wind gust. We're going to pop reflectivity back on here one more time, and we'll just give you a quick rundown. A lot of these storms will pop up to the Paducah radar, which is picking up a little bit more in terms of rain. Again, the Millington radar has been struggling since it got hit with a thunderstorm, wondering if maybe a lightning strike hit it and caused it to take a bit of a power hit. But we'll take a look at some rotation here. Not a lot in terms of the severe thunderstorm warning for Henry County. There is a broad area just to the west of the weekly Henry County line, so which is a good sign. We've got another severe thunderstorm warning. That's the big one for most of the middle of West Tennessee. We're going to turn the Millington radar off again. And some upper level rotation on the Paducah radar coming into three-way again. We're not expecting tornadoes with this main line right now. None of the warnings are tagged for tornado possible. We do have an update on the tornado warning. Carroll and Henderson, you are trimmed out. It is just for Benton County until 5 o'clock now.
All right, Jordan, I had to do some manipulations on the system since it kept crashing, but I pulled up this video online. This is from the Tennessee State Trooper Highway Patrol. Here is the video as they were returning back in showing you that, tornado. We'll play it for you here. Go ahead. This is when the tornado was hitting in just south of the airport in Jackson. There's the roof being ripped off. So you see that's definitely a tornado ripping off the roof and that debris that went flying up in the air. We'll go ahead and play that back for you one time. Again, this was sent in from the Tennessee State Trooper Highway Patrol Office. That again is just south of just south of the airport. That's where that tornado did touch down. That's why they confirmed that tornado as it came through Jackson. And then it was low level the whole time as it was coming through Madison County. So that's why we had that tornado warning issued, was with that storm. Jordan, go ahead real quick. I'm going to set up a few more graphics here. I want you to take a look on the winds along that line. the velocity there.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up
Huntersville, because there's a kink there that I'm looking at.
There is. They are also, the Weather Service is upgrading that middle severe thunderstorm warning to include 70 mile per hour winds. That's why you see it flashing right now. It is now tagged for 70 mile per hour winds and quarter-sized hail. So if it gets another upgrade, it would set your phones off for a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. Right now, it's just considerable. But again, 70 mile per hour gusts possible here coming into Jackson in the next several minutes. And we're going to take a look at that kink near Humboldt. Again, I'm not... it's very broad, but yes, there is some rotation. It's right on top of Humboldt, actually moving just out of town, coming towards Medina. We'll take a check at the wording on that warning to see if they have included the possibility for a tornado. With the rotation that broad, I would not expect there to be a tornado probable tag or possible tag, but again, you can never be too sure on a severe weather day like today. Also, speaking of that video we showed you, that is a good reminder that not every tornado is going to be visible, and of course that's going to need a survey to actually be declared a tornado. It's still a possible tornado until that survey is complete.
That is correct.
Yeah.
You know, as I said, I mean, I'm 99.9% sure, but as Jordan said, the National Weather Service is the only one that can confirm tornadoes, not news media. So just a heads up on that. All right, Jordan, real quick, I'll let you wrap up there, and then I'll get these graphics set for another tour on Max 1. So go ahead one more time, Jordan.
All right, so again, in terms of rotation, it's not looking very tight, very intense. We've got some very weak rotation just to the east of Humboldt. That's where that kink in the line Joel asked me to look at is. Right now, our biggest concern is going to be coming into Jackson. We could be seeing some 70 mile per hour gusts along this line, and that goes for the entire portion of the line between basically McKenzie all the way down to Meaden and Molesis. Well, maybe not Meaden. Meaden is included in the second polygon, but Molesis definitely included in this. The polygon basically ends where we could be seeing 70 mile per hour winds. That ends right where South Highland Avenue meets Bolivar Highway and south of Jackson. But there is a bit of a bowing segment that is, well, that's the kink in the line I was asked to look at. There is a bit of a bowing segment. That's where some of those stronger winds could be coming in right around Medina. So go ahead and head into your, you don't necessarily need to get into your...
All right, let's go ahead. We're ready back on 1. Here's what we have to show you on 1. We've got that line of storms coming on in. Jackson, it's about to get stormy here one more time, one last time for the night. Got some pretty big storms on the way right now heading into Madison County. We still have our 1 tornado warning that's out for the storm near Camden. By the way, if you're watching us now, in 19 minutes, we're going to start our Wbbj News at 5 as a regular newscast. If any of the storm line does become a tornado warning, obviously we will break in and cover it live in the Weather Center. But as of now, at 5 o'clock, we're going to have a regular Wbbj Eyewitness News at 5. So this thunderstorm, though, is still tornado warned, but in the next 15 minutes, it will be out of our viewing area, crossing the Tennessee River. About 150 lightning strikes. This storm is stronger now than when it produced what we think was that tornado just south of the airport in Jackson. It's going to continue to move off to the east here. 170 again lightning strikes. Here's where that inflow notch was, right over Kentucky Lake right now. That's what this is. That's the western side of Kentucky Lake near the Birdsong Heights area, or the Birdsong Marina. Looks like that's coming on up into New Johnsonville, but looks like straight line winds to me. This is a look at it from our exclusive look at our Camden radar. There's still a little upper level rotation when we're getting a long ways away from the Paducah or Fort Campbell radars, and then as it tracks off to the east of us, it's crossing the river right now. So that's it for rotation with that supercell. It's also being caught from the main line, which is coming on through currently, extending from Oakland east of Brownsville. If you're watching us now in looks like North Trenton westward, your severe storm threat is done as this moves on out. We still do have plenty of lightning, though, in and around this storm up into Henry County. The worst of it's gone through Paris. Approaching McLemoresville now, Tresvent, Milan, Medina. You got some pretty intense windstorms on the way here in the next 15 minutes or so. In Jackson, we are right on the edge of this storm. Looks like we've got at least 40, 50 mile an hour gusts, maybe higher than that, according to the latest storm warning. But it is knocking on the door, coming right into Westover near the airport where they had that, what we think was a tornado touchdown a couple hours ago, or at least an hour and a half ago. So here's what's left on the radar. Very fast moving line. Look how fast it's moving. This is just a 1 hour loop, and it went from over here near Ripley all the way approaching Jackson. So at least 50 mile an hour general movement on that thunderstorm line. Now let's look inside it. Here are the strong winds. These bright colors could be up to 60 plus heading into Hillville right now. These are still about 10 minutes away from Meaden, but we'll go up that line here up to the north. Still some pretty intense winds near Big Sandy, close to Jackson. You notice here at Wbbj in about 5 minutes, I expect to start to hear those winds kicking up as that line of storms just off to the west, but very strong winds, straight line winds on the way. Those straight line winds go all the way up to Tresvent, coming into Cedar Grove. Huntington, you've got another round of some gusty winds coming in here, probably in about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, and then still some winds as far north as Paris. So we're starting to hear some lightning beginning to kick up here in Jackson as the line gets a little closer, but once it passes, we're done. So I'm thinking around 5:15, maybe 5:30, our storm threat will be done for us in Jackson tonight. Excuse me. There's still 4 tornado warnings though out in front of the main line that are still some isolated supercells that are still trying to rotate tonight. But the main line looks like it's all going to be winds as it moves on through. One more look at the Futurecast here. You notice 5 o'clock moving on through, 6 down into Savannah, and then by 7 o'clock it looks like things are going to wrap on up. Jordan, anything new from the National Weather Service with that line or with the possible rotating storm?
No, we do have an update.
All right, we'll get back to Jordan here in a minute. He's still having some issues with his microphone. Do want to go ahead and if you're just now joining us, we'll see if we can get that video pulled back up that we did show you. Give me a minute on that. It looks like it's somehow off the screen. So we'll try to pull that back up here in a second. But we'll go ahead and come back up here to the latest on the tornado watch. I do think they're going to start pulling some counties off on our tornado watch here soon. So those should be coming off any minute, but the watch is still out until 8 o'clock. So here is that video sent in from the Tennessee State Trooper Highway Patrol. This was here in just near the airport in Jackson. So you see, watch the roof of the building there. That's very likely a tornado, especially since you see all the debris flying around in circles. You see the circular motion of the debris instead of blowing all in the same direction like if it was just a straight line wind. So this was right, the Highway Patrol office, if you know where that is, over by the airport. They were filming this as the storm came through, and you see the trees as well. So pretty intense scene there. I believe that was a tornado touchdown. We'll obviously find out more, but that was a storm that did come into Jackson, that why we had that tornado warning issued. But we're still under a level 3 tonight. Looks like we still got a tornado, wind, and hail threat. And again, that tornado watch out till 8 p.m. But if you're watching us back behind this line, your tornado threat's done. The National Weather Service has got a lot to do, though, besides pulling counties off of a tornado watch. But you notice where the temperatures are in the 60s back here. That's where we've lost all of our storm energy. The storm line that's come through has sucked it all out. But it's coming into Jackson here any minute with some gusty winds. We've got, again, looks like some thunder and lightning and some gusty winds into Henry County. Our supercell is now being caught from the line, so that's going to bring an end to the rotation with that. But it is still pretty intense. It's not giving up. You still see 170 lightning strikes or so with this, with that thunderstorm. But the rotation maybe right here now, coming on in just south of Hustburg, right in between the land of the lakes. So looks like this is what it looks like from our Camden radar. Very strong winds though still, even and some minor rotation as it now is moving out of the polygon. So we'll either see that canceled or expire at 5. So I think we're done with the tornado warnings for tonight, fingers crossed. But we still have some gusty winds coming on in here along this line. So again, Brownsville, you're done. Humboldt, you're done. Rutherford, Martin, Union City, Dyersburg, Gates, your severe storm threat is over, but still continues tonight for Jackson, Henderson, Parsons. You may dodge anything bad. Fingers crossed, Selma or Savannah. Looks like the worst of this storm may spin just to the north of you. We'll take a look and see what's south of you here in a minute. But some thunder, lightning, heavy rain just now showing up. I can hear it pounding us here at Wbbj as our last line of storms is now officially coming into Jackson. About 90 lightning strikes or so from Medina down through Hillville. So not a super active storm with the amount of lightning, but we definitely have a lot of rain coming on down with this storm and some gusty winds. So there's our last line. Not seeing any rotation along that line, but a lot of gusty winds. Severe thunderstorm warning still continues down for Tune, Meaden. You're probably about 10 minutes out. Pinson maybe about 10, 15 minutes out. We're getting hit with these gusty winds, which extend all the way north up into Big Sandy. And then here in Madison County, here come the winds right now here in Jackson as they track on through. And then over into Cedar Grove and up north. Jordan, you got something pulled up there on Max 2 real quick?
I don't have anything new to tell you. I do have another video I can send you. We don't really have the time for it yet, but I do have a report from a viewer in Camden, messaged me personally, reporting both quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour gusts in Camden with that supercell earlier.
I just took a look outside here in Jackson. It looks about 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts, rain kind of blowing sideways. Does not look like severe type winds coming through, but probably at least 40. But with the saturated grounds, it's probably enough to take down a tree or two. So definitely still a pretty intense storm coming in to Jackson. Again, if you're watching us right now, WBBJ Eyewitness News at 5 will start here in about 10 minutes. We'll try to get these graphics wrapped back on up. Jordan, if you can send me that video, I'll try to get it in. But for some reason, the last one crashed my system twice, so I had to kind of rig around it to get it up. But I'll be able to do that again this time if needed. And obviously, everyone that sent in videos, I'm going to try to check those here over the next couple of hours. If you got more shots of the tornado, you send them to us either on Facebook or if you send them to us over email or however you got them to us. I'm going to try to find time to build those tonight. During the 5:36, 6:30 newscast. Then we should have a detailed recap for you tonight at 10. But back on Max 1, when there's live radar going on, we try to focus more on bringing you the live radar before we bring you a recap. So we'll definitely have a recap of everything tonight at 10 o'clock. But I do also I want to zoom things out here real quick. I promised you folks in Hardin County, McNairy County, we would see what was to the south of you. So we'll get a close look at that. So we are watching this. This is pretty ugly down here, south of Memphis. Excuse me, south of Memphis here. We are watching a cluster of thunderstorms, but you notice they're moving more due east. I don't really see them moving north at all. So this may be good. This all may just stay south of McNairy and Hardin County. You had that one supercell, which was really close. That's producing a tornado now, but it's southeast of you. And none of this moving into Hardin County right now looks severe. So you may get in this break line. See this break in this line from that supercell down south to the line of storms. So you may be pretty good to go tonight in McNairy, Hardin County. So let's keep our fingers crossed for you. Definitely McNairy County is looking pretty good right now. So we'll see if this line fills in. Remember back on Friday we had a similar thing where we got that break in that line, which pretty much included all of West Tennessee. They had all those unfortunately deadly tornadoes into Kentucky. And then they had dangerous storms into Mississippi, but we had that break line right across West Tennessee. So make it that break again for you in McNairy and Hardin County. All right, up to the northeast. Still have our tornado warning, but that storm now is out of our viewing area. We've still got a cluster of thunderstorms extending from Paris down to McKenzie, approaching Huntington right now. Look at all the lightning. This guy is still trying to hang on strong. It's fighting being swallowed up from the line, but the line is moving faster by about 10 miles an hour than that supercell, so it's going to catch it. There's nothing it can do about it. Right over the lake area, still some gusty winds and rotation. That's a look at our exclusive look at our Camden radar. Still some rotation. They might re-trigger this tornado warning, the National Weather Service in Nashville, but we'll see what they decide to do at it, but it's not going to be our issue anymore because there's the river. Anything east of the Tennessee River is covered by Nashville television stations. Obviously, we'll stick with it, though, till it gets close to the river anytime it's in our area. So there's a look at what's left of the rain showers and thunderstorms extending down just north of Bolivar. Again, if you're, it looks like Gibson County, you're done. Chester or Crockett or Haywood County, looks like most of Haywood County's done. So you are done tonight. Again, if you're in Crockett County. Chester County, you still got to deal with that storm, maybe into Henderson. So we'll see about that. So up to the north here, not much, maybe just 60 lightning strikes. This doesn't look overly severe, although we still do have severe thunderstorm warnings along this entire line. Huntington, you got some gusty winds coming in the next 5-10 minutes. Clarksburg, and then again Jackson, we've still got some heavy rain moving on through. A couple of little kinks on the line, so we're not 100% ruling out a tornado. It just seems pretty likely for the remainder of the night. Brand new severe thunderstorm warning that's going to fill in the rest of West Tennessee. That's this one, which includes Henderson now, Parsons, Holiday, Camden. Again, a different, not the tornado warning, but a severe thunderstorm warning for this line, which is coming through Jackson. That's going to be for 60-mile-an-hour winds. Not seeing much for hail in this line, although probably can't rule out a couple of pennies. You notice down south here that if there is some hail, it's going to be with this southern section. Anything coming in, it looks like into Huntington, Carroll, and Henderson County, likely just going to be some gusty winds as it comes on by. But down here, there may be a little bit of hail. If there is any spin up at all, this is the area I think I'm going to watch. It's usually the southern section of a line. So we'll watch this area down here for that little inflow notch there. If we get any spin up at all, that's probably where it's going to be. All this up north here is just straight line winds that I'm seeing on the radar, which will be coming into eastern Madison County, Carroll County, and Henderson County. But there are some pretty intense winds, pretty bright colors showing on up into the Jackson area. So again, Clarksburg, Wildersville, I know you just said, man, we just got hit with a rotating storm, potential tornado. And here comes the straight line winds behind it, unfortunately. So this is your third round of storms for a lot of us today. Up north here, just winds into Paris. That storm even looks like it's beginning to weaken some. Zoom things out here. Again, we still have 4 tornado warnings all out in front of the line. Look at that. That's an intense supercell southeast of Hardin County. This one is probably going to try to rotate here soon south of Memphis as it comes on in. And then we've got, looks like these are just all wind storms coming into Madison County, Chester County, Henderson County, and Carroll counties. But once this line passes, you're done. And we'll be dry tonight. We'll be dry all day Wednesday. But by Wednesday night into Thursday, there'll be some chances for some thunderstorms to turn in. Well, we're going to talk about the news at 5. We're going to have your full forecast, including what we can expect for Memorial Day, which does not look good, unfortunately. I'm not saying 100% cancel your plans, but you will get wet if you're going to be out those 3 days. You may even get wet all 3 days for Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I know a lot of people said, hey, like me, I wanted to get the boat out this weekend, make sure it works, get it out to the river or lake. You may want to pick your time carefully. So we'll monitor that forecast, obviously, as the week progresses and try to give you the time that might be the best to do that. So by 6 o'clock tonight, these storms will be down, moving across the Tennessee River. By 7 o'clock, it looks like they'll be out, and anything tonight, there just may be a few sprinkles on the backside of that system as it clears on out. But most of the night, it looks like we're going to be dry. This Futurecast is our in-house model. It's kind of showing the same thing as these showers track off to the east. Should be clearing on out, and then once we get into 10 o'clock, going to be pretty mild. We got a couple more minutes. Let's check in with meteorologist Jordan Hubbard for a couple more minutes. Jordan, we got about 4 minutes till the news starts, so I'm going to let you take over till we get ready, okay?
All right, sounds good, folks. We do have good news. They're not going to cancel it early because they're in full warning mode right now at Memphis. They are going to let the warning expire for Benton County. Right now, we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings tagged for a possible tornado. The only one really we need to keep our eyes on for right now is this really the big polygon going right down the middle of West Tennessee. It is tagged for the highest winds we've seen of the day, up to 70 power hit. So we'll stay with you while we can.
We should be up.
We should. Okay. All right. So we'll give you a quick update from McKellar-Sipes Airport out in West Jackson. Had a registered wind gust of 59 miles per hour 2 separate times. So that is a severe thunderstorm by all technicalities coming through Jackson right now.
Jordan, say that again?
A 59 mile per hour wind gust came through McKellar-Sipes Regional Airport out in West Jackson. It happened twice in the last 5 minutes. So this is by all technicalities, a severe thunderstorm.
Yes, it is.
The criteria for a severe thunderstorm, if you don't know, is at least quarter-sized hail or 58 mile per hour wind gust or a funnel cloud. and we met one of those with a 59 mile per hour wind gust, but one recorded at 447, the other at 450. The ASOS over there in West Jackson's putting in some work for us here. Good news also, they will be expiring the severe thunderstorm warning for weekly Benton and Henry County at 5 o'clock. Aside from that, we don't really have any reports coming in. Everything's starting to look like our threat's wrapping up. We are going to keep an eye on this middle segment of the line. It is starting to take on a bit of a bow echo type shape. So right around Clarksburg, Cedar Grove, you can see some stronger winds than maybe us here in Jackson or later down the line in Lexington. But definitely we'll pull up velocity. Actually, we'll go with actual velocity and not storm relative. And I want to use the Camden radar just because it's the closest site. And we're going to turn off our warning polygons. That way we get this answer really quickly. Coming into Clarksburg very soon, we're looking at 60 mile per hour winds. And these are not too terribly high off the surface from the Camden radar. So some very strong winds mixing on down into southern Carroll County, Benton County, northern Decatur County. You could be dealing with some strong 60, maybe as high as 70 mile per hour winds. Can't really get a good view of Carroll County or Henderson County with that.
Check this out. This is what it looks like outside right now in Jackson. It is tearing up right now. The winds whipping around, trees kicking up, severe thunderstorm. As Jordan said, official gusts reported all the way up to 59 miles an hour twice out at the airport in Jackson. So we're going to continue to track these storms as they get going tonight. No tornado warnings right now. We've been covering these live storms for the last couple of hours. We had what we believe was a tornado touchdown in Jackson. We're going to have a video of that coming up as we start our newscast here in about 10 minutes. But again, any of these storms go tornado warned. We'll cover them in their entirety tonight. But right now we're going to start our news here at WBBJ, and we'll still have weather reports over the next 2 hours. So keep it right here. WBBJ News starts now. Some thunderstorms continuing tonight across West Tennessee. We've got the latest coming up right now.
We bring you an update on the second day of the Zach Adams post-conviction hearing.
Local students are riding the wave to a big celebration.
And President Trump urges Republicans to unify behind his budget bill. More on the president's message to his party as they push to pass a massive budget package.
Now, from West Tennessee's News Channel, this is 7 Eyewitness News at 5.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Storms are moving through the area, bringing severe weather to communities here in West Tennessee.
Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Joel Barnes for the very latest. Joel.
Yeah, good evening, Terry. Brad, no tornado warnings right now, but a significant storm still moving through Jackson right now. Gusts up to 60 miles an hour, a severe thunderstorm warning, but we did have a tornado warning and what I believe was a tornado touchdown earlier. This is what it looked like where that tornado touched down, just right by the airport in Jackson. This is a video from the highway patrol officers as they were returning back. Look at the buildings, the roofs being ripped off to the building. This was just southwest of Jackson out at the airport. And again, this was spotted a couple hours ago. You notice the debris is going in circles, not in a straight pattern. That's why pretty certain that was a tornado, but we'll get the National Weather Service out there to give it a full report here in just a bit. So this is what it looks like as far as what we can expect for the remainder of the night. We are still under that level 3. We still have a tornado watch out for the remainder of the night, but it is pretty storming right now here in Jackson. Here's a look outside at downtown. You notice the camera still shaking around as those strong winds are still coming on through. We're still under that tornado watch again. That's out until 8 o'clock. We'll start to see our counties pulled off on that. A quick look at the radar. We'll show you the line is now tracking to the southeast of Jackson. And as this line passes, your severe storm threat's going to be wrapping up. So it is over tonight into Gibson and Crockett counties. There's a pretty intense storm coming in to Carroll County right now. We had a rotating storm, which is now over near Waverly. That looks like that is cleared on out. So good news there. We still do have, though, a gusty line of storms producing up to 60-mile-an-hour winds heading still into Camden. Holiday, if you're watching us into Henderson, Chester County, this is still coming your way. Looks like Jackson, we've seen the worst of it moving on through. But up north, we've still got some pretty intense storms. It looks like still around 50 lightning strikes there. Huntington, the worst of it's coming through right now for you. Stay away from windows. Could have some 60-mile-an-hour winds. Pinson, Luray, Meade, and Henderson. This is all on the way for you. And again, the worst of it just passed right through Jackson. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on this as the night goes on. Really not seeing a whole lot of rotation, but what we are seeing, those are all straight line winds associated with this line as it comes on by. We're going to have a lot more coming up as far as what we can expect for the remainder of the night. Plus, we've got your Memorial Day weekend forecast coming up, which actually is not looking great. Helms Motor Company, though, brought us his first look tonight.
All right, thank you, Joel. Here's video from earlier this afternoon of some scary-looking clouds moving through the Jackson-Madison County area.
This video was taken from our weather team during their live coverage when a tornado warning was declared in the area earlier today as severe weather moved through the region. And speaking of severe weather, according to a Facebook post, troopers and staff at the THP Jackson District Office had to take shelter earlier today. This video captures powerful winds tearing the roof off of a nearby factory and sending debris swirling. Thankfully, no injuries were reported. A few minutes later, troopers were out in the community assessing damage. With storms expected across much of the state tonight, stay alert, take warning seriously, and have a plan in place.
And due to severe weather in the forecast this evening, some local shelters will be opening to the public. The Jackson-Madison County Emergency Management Agency confirming the shelter located at the Jackson Regional Airport is open. Additionally, the City of Martin announcing their community safe room located at 701 North Lindell Street is open. Also, West Tennessee has several other shelters. If you're unsure where your nearest shelter is or have additional questions, contact your local emergency management agency.
New at 5, day 2 of the Zach Adams post-conviction hearing began with opening statements from the prosecution and defense. Take a listen.
Her phone, her backpack, her property, her things were scattered by these meth heads in the minutes following what they had done.
Defense called their first witness to the stand, retired U.S. Marshal John Walker, who originally investigated the Bobo case. Walker detailed how he developed a route of Bobo's movements on the day of her murder by tracking rural cell towers, and he provided the conclusion of his findings.
I typed this up and sent it to TBI to remind them there is a different theory in the file, the timeline when this occurred, a very different theory that matches the evidence. It matches what her brother said that morning. It matches what the neighbor, Mr. Barnes, said that morning. It matches what Mr. Barnes' mother said that morning. It matches the timeline.
Stay tuned tonight at 6 for more coverage on day 2 of the Adams post-conviction hearing.
Well, in other news, students at one local elementary school take a dive into the ocean of adventure in a challenge to read 100 books this year. Wbbj 7 Eyewitness News reporter Emily Goodwin has more on the Hawaii-themed celebration for students' hard work and dedication.
West Carroll Elementary School gymnasium was filled with fun, sunshine, and all of the island vibes Tuesday, as more than 30% of students enrolled celebrated reaching their end-of-the-year goals.
It is a wonderful feeling. We have been working on all things literacy, from reading comprehension to vocabulary, informational text, literary text. So it is wonderful that we have so many students who have embraced this challenge and read 100 books.
It's part of the school's theme this year, Reading Takes You Places. Students were given a passport to keep track of each book that they read.
They just got excited about it. I would meet them in the hallway and they'd grin, Miss Hudgens, I've got 98, I need 2 more. I've got 76, I just need 24 more.
From nonfiction to fiction and informational books about plants and animals, students had a wide variety of books to choose from.
I get tickled. There's not a 3rd or 4th grader in here that doesn't know all about snakes, because they've read every snake book that there is in the library.
Along with having the coolest accessories to wear, students did crafts. They had the chance to play in the sand, showed off their limbo skills, and enjoyed delicious fruits from the island. Additional activities this afternoon included seeing a volcano erupt and learning about Pearl Harbor. In Carroll County, Emily Goodwin, WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News.
West Carroll Elementary School Principal Dr. Jessica Williams says this was an exciting way to increase literacy, especially with 3rd and 4th graders, as it's been a focus with the state of Tennessee and the retention promotion law.
President Trump and Republican House leadership are expressing confidence that lawmakers will pass what the president calls his one big beautiful bill. Erica Brown has the latest from Capitol Hill, where the president paid a visit today to persuade holdout Republicans to get behind the legislation.
President Trump emerged from a meeting with House Republicans sounding optimistic about the passage of his budget bill.
I think we have unbelievable unity. I think we're going to get everything we want.
The legislation makes permanent the tax cuts passed during his first term and includes a campaign promise to eliminate taxes on tips and overtime pay. It also increases spending on defense and border security. To offset those cuts, there are federal spending cuts to Medicaid, food stamps, and clean energy subsidies, although the president insists Medicaid will mostly remain intact.
The only thing we're cutting is waste, fraud, and abuse. With Medicaid, waste, fraud, and abuse.
The president warned Republicans against opposing the legislation, but his visit failed to sway several holdouts, including lawmakers concerned the spending cuts don't go far enough.
The president called for eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicaid, and we have not eliminated waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicaid this bill.
A senior administration official says President Trump told members not to let SALT impede the bill. That's the deduction for state and local taxes that some moderates representing high property tax districts want to see raised.
We will continue the dialogue with leadership, but as it stands right now, I do not support the bill.
House Speaker Mike Johnson acknowledged the hurdles ahead with the Republicans' slim majority.
Nothing in Congress is ever easy, especially when you have small margins, but we are going to land this plane and deliver this.
He says he wants a vote by Thursday before lawmakers depart for the Memorial Day break. Erica Brown, Capitol Hill.
A committee hearing on the bill is set for overnight in hopes of a House floor vote tomorrow afternoon.
Well, coming up, one popular celebrity is now a cookie creator. Details in this sweet collaboration.
And this TV personality is cast to voice a new character in an upcoming movie. That's next.